out seemed reasonable. So I decided to give it a call and made an appointment. They found that I had low T. And after that, it was like a light switch got turned on. I've been a patient at Northeast Men's Health for about 9 months now. Everything's gotten a lot better in my life. Energy, feeling, just work, a whole lot better. Even my kids notice. They're like, Daddy's got energy. Daddy's ready to go. If you don't feel like that, I would suggest calling Northeast Men's Health.
Thanks, Kurt. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call today, 800-930-5956, or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't?
Check. 1 minute.
For putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to 2
Monday.
With no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day.
Oh, shoot.
Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
I can't get the signal. Okay, seriously. Now there's absolutely no excuse not to listen to WTIC News Talk 1080. You can literally hear us anywhere when you listen on your smartphone. And now you can hear us on the Odyssey app, the iHeartRadio app, and the TuneIn app. So pick your favorite and search.
I hate it. I gotta pick the Ravens.
News Talk.
Yeah.
Listen wherever you are. It's
In 10. That's the best pick you could ever make.
the signal. We've made it easy. WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps. Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I had to do some soul searching this weekend. How about you? I was thinking about it all weekend, and we'll talk about it. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. I got to tell you, man, it's something when someone can give you a speech that you've never really followed, don't know much about, says something so profound that you have to look inward. I could have looked at these words and made it all about who said it, why they said it, and what it meant. But I was immediately drawn inward, not making it about me. Don't get me wrong. It's one of those things, as I said last week, and I think I said the week before, right? What can I do when things are bad? Like, where do I fall short? If I'm having an argument with someone, be it my wife or a coworker, or just in general, I immediately look inward. What am I doing that's not helpful? Be it to myself or the situation. And Erica Kirk said something that a lot of people were talking about yesterday. And you cannot deny it's worth the conversation.
Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. that man, that young man, I forgive him.
Now, I will start off by saying this. There was a part of me that just went, what? And that was, I will admit, all of that was anger, hate, division, tumult. That's what I went, what? No. Really? And then I thought better. There's only one person in that moment who had the right to forgive anybody, not me. I had no right. I had completely taken over. I immediately made that. I'm like, I couldn't do, I had no, yeah, if I couldn't, that's me. But she could. And I had to look at her and say, what did that take? And then, instantaneous, to be making this all about what she did, because that was, again, her own decision. I had to look at me. And I said, could you do it? Could you forgive? You've had things happen to you. You've almost had your life extinguished. Can you forgive those who wish to do you harm with no regard? How soon could you have forgiven? 11 days? Could you have done it? And I knew right off the bat, hell no. It took me almost 12 years. I had to find so many things in my life before I was able to put down the sword and stop being angry and resentful and bitter. This woman did it in 11, I can't even say 11 days because she made it public in 11 days. I don't know how soon she chose to, but she did. She was clearly breaking records where I'm from. And I know that some of you are saying to yourself, man, I couldn't do it. Totally get it. I get it. And this is not about shaming anybody. I thought about this long and hard over this weekend and this morning, and I just went, you can't really shame people for saying, nah, I couldn't do it. Be it the person that you cared the most about, in this case, her husband, whom she had from what we can see, a beautiful relationship with. This was her rock. This was a part of her. This man was an appendage. Not just physical, but mental and spiritual. This guy was like something was ripped from her, stolen even. And forget about the fact, don't forget about the fact that she's got 2 young children who will never know their father. And she chose forgiveness. How do we not reflect? How do we not look at it? Instead of judging her, which again is so easy to do, it immediately becomes, I couldn't do that. But maybe that's something we need to think about. Now, forgiving someone is one thing, because in her case, she is forgiving Tyler Robinson for doing the unthinkable. He doesn't even deserve it from her. We all know that. And she knows that too. But she chose it. And then the rest of us have to look at that and go, what do we do when we're in situations that are far less meaningful? Like those arguments and those fights and those disagreements. The Karen next door, or the neighbor who doesn't really give you any regard or seems disrespectful. If I can tell a tale out of school, my wife and her mother do not have a great relationship. And it has been tumultuous for at least 25 years. And I've witnessed it in a way that is like, it's palpable, like I can touch it. And my wife and I have had discussions about this, about the relationship with my own mother and how I just chose to stay away, never really addressing it or addressing her, just kind of like skating by, just letting it happen, but never really letting go of the abuse, the neglect, and all that stuff that ended up shaping me and molding me in a particular way. I thought about my life as compared to other people and other people's relationship. I did that for a little while. It was short-lived. That was actually my saving grace, that was short-lived. Stop living through comparison. It's a good thing. But I remember the day that I had finally realized that my mother is human. She screws up just like any other human being. And I was putting this moniker of mother as something that sort of absolved her of being human or took away her humanity, her ability to make mistakes, or her ability to be a horrible person. Hey, just because she's my mom doesn't mean that she doesn't get to be a pretty bad individual. Just because she gave birth to me doesn't mean that she doesn't get to kind of be a turd now and again. She's fallible. We do these things where we put people on a particular pedestal. And then when they do something wrong, we add on. How can a mother do that? I always stop them. I used to stop my wife all the time. It's like, I understand that you're throwing the mother thing out there, but can a human being do that? So yeah, a human being can. Well, your mom's a human being. You're kind of throwing on the extra, saying that because she's a mother, she should never be allowed to make that kind of mistake. You're taking away the human element. I say all this because I'll never forget, it was just about 2 weeks ago, we're driving, and Roseanne says, I think I forgive my mother. I think I'm done. I almost drove the car off the road. I couldn't believe it. And as she was expressing it, she was saying the same things that I said. When I had finally resolved it in my own heart, she sounded just like me. And I don't know whether or not I was an influence, or she just came to the same conclusions that I did. But it was breathtaking in that moment. It was nice to see someone at peace with something that was giving them such bitterness, disdain, agita, all of it. It finally felt like she had let it go. And to watch Erica Kirk do that under these circumstances, that is where I said I need to be more forgiving. I don't want to put that out on you. Some of you cannot. I get it. And for whatever reasons those are, makes sense. But sometimes we do have to ask ourselves, in looking at that, do I have the ability to forgive? At least a little bit? And what can I forgive? Is there a limit? Because forgiveness is never really about the person you're forgiving, if you think about it. It's really for you and for me. You are letting go of the burden, the energy, sometimes the hatred. You're not carrying that anymore. And I think that's what Erica did in that moment when she said, I forgive him, is because in carrying that hatred, she has to carry that around while she raises her two children. Two children that she's going to look in their eyes and always see her husband, and then always see his murder, and then always see the man who did it. And how does that translate into a healthy relationship with the children Charlie Kirk gave her? How does that help her develop those two children? That is her role. She's obligated to that. And hatred serves those children no purpose, much less herself. It serves no one. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, but hey, Reese, what about Donald Trump when he got on those stage afterwards and said, Charlie could forgive these people, but I can't. I can never forgive my opponents. I wasn't ashamed. I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel like he undercut what Erica Kirk said. I didn't. I chose not to judge him. I chose to, and there's a reason why. It's because deep down inside, look at us. All of us. Look at yourself. You can talk this nonsense about, the tone of the president. Let's stop giving that so much latitude, okay? Donald Trump sets the tone for this country no more than I do. As you might remember last week, I was talking about my ex-wife who used to always argue with me saying, it's because you do this that I act like that. And I go, that's funny. I'm influencing you to do just the bad stuff. None of the good stuff. I don't inspire you to do any good. The only thing I'm inspiring you to do is the bad stuff, to behave poorly. That's the only influence I have over you. So I know a lot of people like to use that excuse. Well, the president went on a different route after Erica went. Erica's choice is her own, as is Donald Trump's. But I can look at both of those situations and go, I can relate. As I started this off, I said it took me 14 years. Well, 12 years. It took me 12 years to get over the evil that almost destroyed every fabric of who I am, was actually literally sent to take me down. It took me 12 years to get over it, to let go and to forgive. And for some people, it takes a long time. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. It relates to, of course, our usual foil here on the show, Chris Murphy, and everyone else from Jasmine Crockett and Tubbs to Hakeem Jeffries to Elizabeth Warren, Dan Goldman, Nancy Pelosi, any and all folks who continue with the hateful and demeaning rhetoric, and then at the same time ask us all to tone it down. The question that I have, and I have for everyone, is how do you expect anyone to be, let's just say, thoughtful? I wanted to use another word, but that would be mean. How do you expect anyone to at least consider forgiveness as someone continues to spew vile, asking you to do the thing that they are unwilling to do? Then it becomes a different story. Tyler Robinson is in prison. And if that prosecution has its way, he will pay for what he did to Charlie Kirk. But as Erica said in her New York Times interview, she doesn't want that on her ledger. That will be determined by the courts. That will be determined by the government. But she wants no part in that. But when you got people saying the president needs to tone it down while others are still spewing vitriol, I kind of see it the president's way. I can hold both different thoughts. We'll explain all that. And we'll be asking the question today. Can you forgive? How easy? How hard is it for you? The number's 860-522-WTIC. We'll be back. Go nowhere. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
At Columbia Dental, we love to make kids smile. Our expert pediatric dentists specialize in children's dental care, making every visit fun and comfortable. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Hey, let's be real. Nobody likes getting hit with a huge car repair bill. Your ride is how you get around, right? But what happens when that check engine light pops on or something just stops working? That's where CarShield comes in. They've got this low-cost plan paid month to month that basically saves you from shelling out big bucks for future auto repairs. Think about it. If your engine dies or your AC quits, you could pay almost nothing for the fix. Seriously, almost nothing. No more draining your savings for a surprise breakdown. This is a heads up for everyone out there. If your old warranty is about to run out or you don't have any coverage at all, right now, this protection plan is super affordable. And to sweeten the deal, if you sign up today, you also get free roadside assistance, free towing, and even options for a rental car. No extra charge for any of that. Get smart about your ride and your money. Call CarShield for your free quick quote today. Just dial 800-220-4067. That's 800-220-4067. Future-proof your ride with CarShield. Call 800-220-4067. That's 800-220-4067. Again, 800-220-4067.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
And now, a WTIC news update.
.230 Hartford, temperature 71 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Mix of clouds and sun for this Monday afternoon. We'll have the forecast details coming up. A federal judge has ruled the offshore wind project for Connecticut and Rhode Island that was halted this summer by the Trump administration can start up again. Revolution Wind plans to supply power, over 700 megawatts of power for the two states. The Trump administration this summer issued that stop work order, citing national security concerns. 2 people were injured Sunday in a crash on Route 190 in Summers. State troopers say the vehicle attempted to pass another on the left as it was attempting to pull into a driveway. One person sustained serious injuries, the other minor injuries. President Trump expected to make an announcement on autism later today. In the meantime, a senior official in the Trump administration says Oracle will receive a copy of TikTok's algorithm for operation for U.S. users. The decision addresses a national security concern over the social media platform. Correction officer in Connecticut facing charges after police say he led them on a pursuit to Stamford from Newington with his kids in the car. John Layson Romero is charged. Police say he had a fight with another woman before he took off down I-95 and ultimately crashed that vehicle in Stamford. New York City mayoral candidate Zohan Mamdani says he's pulling out of a town hall held by the local ABC station, Channel 7, following the national network's decision to suspend Jimmy Kimmel. Mamdani announced today that he's canceled his appearance for the Thursday town hall after ABC yanked Kimmel's show off the air following backlash over the host's comments about the killing of Charlie Kirk. WTIC News time is 2:32. Here's Bob with the forecast.
This afternoon, we're mostly sunny. A few clouds mixing in. It's comfortable. Highs in the 70s. And autumn arrives at 2:19. Tonight, partly cloudy. Lows 55 to 60 degrees. And we'll have partly sunny conditions Tuesday, but we do pick up the chance for a shower or two or even a thunderstorm as we go through the afternoon and evening. It'll be on the warm side tomorrow with a high around 80 or so and a little more humid as dew points rise into the low to perhaps mid-60s. Some showers around at times Tuesday night. Chance for thunder. Lows in the low 60s. Mostly cloudy Wednesday and Thursday, and there'll be some showers around at times both days with highs in the 70s Wednesday and around 70 Thursday. Friday looks partly sunny. Still a chance for a shower or thunder shower. Highs in the 70s. Looks like the same idea going into Saturday. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Checking traffic, looks as if an earlier crash in Wethersfield on 91 has been cleared. Still have a problem down in Montville on 395. Southbound side closed between exits 5 and 2 from an earlier vehicle fire. And a new problem in Harwinton. Route 4 closed at Leadmine Brook because of a crash there. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got NewGenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HUNK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of NewGenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of NewGenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text HUNK to 42424. That's HUNK to 42424.
This health fact brought to you by ProHealth Physicians.
One of the best ways to stay healthy during flu season is to get your flu shot.
Hi, I'm Kayla Dixon, a primary care nurse practitioner at ProHealth Physicians in Southington. A yearly flu shot is a safe and effective way to prevent the flu. It protects both you and others. We recommend everyone 6 months of age and up to get their flu shot each year, especially those who are 65 or older, pregnant, or with chronic conditions. Getting vaccinated helps stop millions of people from getting sick and thousands from dying. If you do get sick, your symptoms will likely be milder. Plus, there's a lower chance you'll get really ill. Take control of your health. Book your flu shot today. Talk to your doctor if you have any questions.
ProHealth's free drive-through flu clinic is Saturday, October 4th from 10 a.m. to noon at 3 Farm Glen Boulevard in Farmington. Must be 18 or older. Visit ProHealth Physicians on Facebook to learn more.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products or products which the FDA does not approve or verify
Thanks,
for
sir.
safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
I tell you, man, as I'm watching this, I could only call it a religious revival yesterday, seeing all of these people speak, and I'm online. If I miss somebody, I can go back and I can watch it. And there were so many people communicating back and forth about this. And people outside. I was watching Bill Malugin of Fox News out there speaking to folks. And just the atmosphere, and then online watching people's reaction to what was happening with those reports. And let me tell you this is the part that I find interesting in all of this. I got a response on X from someone who obviously is not pious or religious in any way. I guess based upon his response, you could not deem him a Christian because he kept speaking to me in his text saying you as a Christian. It's sort of like that kind of speech. And he kept saying that as long as you keep forgiving your enemy, they'll continue to stomp on you. They'll continue to attack you. And you Christians need to stop and defend yourself, is what he was going on about. Now, usually I'll respond to someone who writes something if I have something to contribute, but I got where he was coming from. Because he's not a Christian, obviously, and he saw this as us taking on a role that was beyond our ability. That as long as people understood they're Christians, they're going to turn the other cheek, that evil will persist. Hey, we'll just keep stomping them out. We'll stab them, we'll shoot them, we'll hurt them. They're never going to retaliate because they're Christians, and Jesus teaches them, do not respond. And the reason why, again, I couldn't respond because then I have to go into these other places that I'm proving something. And I have this saying, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. And it didn't. It didn't apply to me. But I knew where he was coming from. It wasn't hate. It wasn't hateful. It wasn't even like shaming me for being a Christian or believing in God, for that matter. For him, he believed he was doing me a service. And I can't say that he wasn't. I'm just saying that I understood where he was coming from. Because he, like many others who might just be good people and not religious, not pious, not even Christian, or even follow Christ or God or anything like that. He just saw good. And he said, it's not right that these people do this to you. It's not right that they continue to do this to you while everybody stands around and they try to stay on the good side. And you're going to be eradicated. You won't be here to do that good if you just keep letting them stomp all over you. And I felt that. I'm reading in the comment section here on the Reese On The Radio page on Facebook. People saying that, she's a better person than me. I just couldn't do it. And I get it. Again, this was not about it. And I said that to myself. I was like, Reese, you got to be careful because you don't want to be coming off as shaming people. You don't want to come off as if you're saying it's like, oh, we all need to learn to forgive like Erica. I'm like, no, I'm not that guy. Not. Because, again, I understand. I totally get it. I can understand both sides of that. Donald Trump's statements as well as Erica's. And Donald Trump was talking about people who many years ago used to love him, took his money, invited him to their parties and their gatherings and their award shows, invited him into their homes with his reality show. And then when he decided to run for president, inexplicably called him everything in the book that they didn't even have the guts, the temerity, or even the inkling to call him when they were taking his money, inviting him into their homes, and celebrating him. And then for that to lead to people trying to kill him or to jail him, to lie about him, to inspire others to lie on him as well, to turn half the country against him, lying on his name. While he gives and gives and gives and does not promote, while he gives and gives and try to do better for people, and they still admonish him, and he never asks for praise. He just does it. While people ignore the good that he does, and even when they do, twist it into something negative. $500 million just recently going to HBCUs. The New York Times wrote an article only to bash him for it. While he continues to take care of historically black colleges and universities, still found a way to smear him. And when he got up there and he said that Charlie, which again is talking about Charlie, because it is about Charlie, Charlie would forgive them. He knew that. Charlie would forgive him. Charlie would forgive anyone, which we can clearly see from his wife. That he was the leader of his home. And he was such a leader, that his wife followed by example. And she will do the same for those children. But Donald Trump is his own man and said, I couldn't do it. And you're going to sit up here and tell me that no one else was thinking the same thing when she said it, when she uttered the words, I forgive him? You're going to sit up here and tell me that anyone, how about the people on the left who have made their lives about retribution, who have made their lives about getting their pound of flesh, who have made their lives about making people feel horrible about themselves, if not attack them for not believing as they believe? What do you think they saw when they heard Erica forgive her husband's murderer? They all said, hell no, not me. They all said it. And then hear Donald Trump say he can't, he hates his opponents, and then have the temerity to say, how dare he? Are you insane? I look at every one of the people who are now trying to sit up on, at least to look at him in the eye and go, Yeah, you could have set the tone. I asked Chris Murphy, who suggests that the President of the United States is using Charlie Kirk's murder as a means to silence dissent, only to be standing up on stage while his homie and tour mate, Max Frost, a week later, gets up on stage and calls the man a fascist again? Even after we know that was carved into the bullets that was set to be aimed at Charlie Kirk if the first bullet didn't kill him? Silence what dissent? If what you're arguing about is that Donald Trump and half the country, if not more, because I think it's more than that, are mourning the death of Charlie Kirk, and what Chris Murphy and others are complaining about is that they cannot, because it's probably proper to tone it down, that they're being forced to stop the violent rhetoric. And they are too addicted to it, like a drug, like a crackhead that I called Chris Murphy, a crackhead who's treating it like they've been denied their favorite drug. He's using it to silence dissent. What dissent are you talking about? Chris Murphy, you were on this week with George Stephanopoulos, with Jonathan Karl, but you were on television. Did anybody stop you from talking? Did anybody stop you from lying? No. Did anybody stop Max Frost from calling him a fascist? No. Where's this denial of dissent you're talking about? You all have gotten up and been able to say whatever it is you want to say about the man or about us. Where's the silence? All of the news networks over the weekend, they gave you ample opportunity for you to get right back on the stage and complain about the dissent that you're not allowed to do while you dissent. Who are the idiots who were buying this? Who are they? Who are the people online screaming and hollering dissent about not being able to dissent? Who are you? I want to know who you are. I want you to tell me right now. I'm not allowed to dissent from the President of the United States, that fascist dictator. Who is this childish and silly? Just say the truth. That's all you have to do. Say the truth. Say that the death of Charlie Kirk is keeping you from being as mean-spirited as you want to, because you know that people are going to look at you and judge you for it. That deep down, you just want to get back to calling Donald Trump a dictator and a fascist. And someone is holding the ball away from you. It's actually kind of silly. And it's like watching a bunch of petulant children. But I forgive you. See? That was easy. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Don Cusson here. Fall is a great time to get behind the wheel and head out for some seasonal driving. With leaves on the road and rain or snow falling, driving can be hazardous. Is your car ready? Cussin Auto features Cooper and Continental tires, helping to ensure a comfortable and safe driving experience no matter the season. Let Cussin Auto handle your next oil change, knowing our team will inspect your vehicle for all your service needs. After all, we'll do it right or not at all. Call 860-289-2389 or visit CussinAutomotive.com.
Cussin Automotive. Unite. Cussin. Unite.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, we're back. And it has been an interesting weekend. The wife isn't here. I'm packing things. I did several loads of laundry. Oh, the hell, applaud me. I want them to change that song that you always hear at the parties. You know, the one that everybody does to the electric slide. It's electric. Boogie, boogie. I want to change that tune to He's Domestic. Boogie, boogie. That's what I want. Let me get to the phones real quick. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to our good friend George in Canton. Hello, George.
Well, greetings. Greetings, Reese. You hear me all right?
Pretty good. Yeah, sir.
Yeah. Let me share something here quite serious. 10.5 years ago, my youngest son, who then was 45, shot himself.
Wow.
And there was the first thing I did after I recovered from the mourning, the period of mourning, a little period of time, I said, had he been killed in any circumstance, a mugging, a drunk driver, what, I would have forgiven the person who did it. War, cancer, well, he had cancer. He took his own life because he wasn't going to endure a third time.
Wow.
But the point is, some people would be angry at that we've heard it, the gun, the bullet, even God. Well, see, I am not a Christian. I was born into a family that was a Christian family, but not practicing.
Okay.
But I am a pragmatist. I tend to follow the Eastern Taoism. And the tenet of Taoism is called the don't know mind. Don't know. Well, I forgive because, as many people are credited with having said, resentment or anger or envy is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Yeah.
I am not going to poison my mind with a negative such as any of those about what happened to my son. With regard to punishment, now it is said, I read yesterday or this morning, that Erica Kirk has forgiven him and does not want to face God, having wanted him to die.
Yes.
Well, you see, the way I see it is this, as a pragmatist. I forgive him for my sake. And because we are a country of laws, not men, then the law of our land takes over.
Right.
And then whatever is applied to the actions of that person, then that is the punishment they get.
That is essentially what that is, George. That is essentially what she's saying here, though, right? In the New York Times article. Yeah.
But she's doing it because she's a Christian and a believer. I am a pragmatist that says my life is better, this life, because I don't know about the next life. I'm just not a Christian.
Yeah.
I believe there is something there in a creator of this dimension we live in, but I don't believe in a deity. So rather than having, I don't have that as an excuse or reason.
Right.
But also with regard to what Trump said, I really wish that he had said, I don't hate my enemies, I just hate what they do. Because he doesn't even have to love them.
Right.
I don't hate in anything that's animate. In fact, I don't even use the word hate. I could say I hate Cheerios. I know I don't hate Cheerios. I just don't eat them.
No, I get George. I'm gonna let you go, but I think before we get into the weeds on that, but you make a good point. But I'm going to. This is where I'm going to extend latitude towards Donald Trump. Yeah. Politically, would it have been wise for him to say, "I don't hate them, but I hate what they do"? Absolutely. But on this level of what he did say, I'm just not judging Donald Trump on his own honesty.
No,
because
it's his own humanity.
Yeah, it is exactly.
Donald Trump without filters.
Yeah,
that's
right. Exactly
I'm not
right.
being critical. I would have done it slightly differently.
Right.
But I hope people out there will hear, hanging on to resent. Let it go for your own sake.
Yeah.
Forgive someone. You don't have to be a Christian or anything.
That's right.
Just forgive them. Your mind is better. You remember what Limbaugh used to say? I'm living rent free in Bill Clinton's head.
Right. That's right.
Well, don't let anger and resentment live rent free in one's head. Forgive the person.
That's right. Because it does. And as I learned, forgiveness is really, it is about you. That's.
Let me quote my favorite quote from Mark Twain. Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds upon the heel that crushes it.
Wow.
Mark Twain, look it up.
Yeah, I love it now. I think I love that quote. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, George. As always. Great voice and great wisdom by George in Canton. I love it when he calls. Okay. We're going to push back headlines another half an hour. It looks like this is resonating. So we're going to take your phone calls. If you want to call up, please do. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We will get into the thick of this because all of us have our own sort of story and how we would deal with this. And I know some people want to share about what they heard from Erica and how they apply it to their own lives. So I want you to get that out. I kind of knew this was going to be the response. So, and I'm glad that we're talking about it. All right, so stand by for that. Also, we've got headlines. Of course, we've got the stupidest thing I read today. This one involves Connecticut. It's a great one. And also, we got some very, very horrible news about Bridgeport and New Haven as it applies to women. So stand by for that. Now let's get to the WTIC newsroom with John Silva. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
3 o'clock, 73 degrees, partly sunny skies, sun and clouds this Monday. Mid-70s for the high. All the forecast details coming up. A judge has issued an injunction reversing the federal government's stop work order on Revolution Wind. From Hartford, here's WTIC's Dave Mager.
Work on the $6.2 billion wind farm, 80% complete, stopped a month ago on order of the Trump administration. Now,
my understanding is the work can begin again soon.
A Reagan-appointed judge in Washington ruled for the developer, Ørsted, which says it's been losing $2 million a day during the stoppage. Governor Lamont says the effort to restart has also been going on outside the courtroom.
We had extensive conversations, negotiations over the weekend, but more importantly, the courts just lifted the stop work injunction.
The Department of the Interior issued the order claiming national security concerns. Connecticut and the company have pointed to job losses and the promise the project holds for providing electric supply. In Hartford, Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Newington police have filed charges against a man wanted in a domestic violence incident involving a kidnapping. Officers responded to an undisclosed address around noon Sunday on the report of a domestic disturbance. Sergeant Matthew D'Esposito says John Layson Romero had gotten into a fight with an adult woman at their home.
He then choked her, restricting her ability to breathe, and then he left in the vehicle with their 2 biological children. Ultimately, bolos were put out for the vehicle, the suspect, and the children as being missing. The vehicle was subsequently located in Stamford by the Stamford Police Department, where they were able to stop the vehicle.
36-year-old tried to flee, crashed into another vehicle, then barricaded himself with the 2 kids at the scene of the crash. He was eventually taken into custody. The children are safe. Layson Romero is charged with kidnapping, risk of injury, and other offenses. His bond was set at $1 million. President Trump is expected to make an announcement today on autism. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
This will be a powerful display of how the entire Trump administration is committed to addressing root causes of chronic conditions and diseases, embracing full transparency in government, and championing gold standard science.
Natalie Brand reports the announcement could tie Tylenol use during pregnancy to autism.
We'll have to wait and hear the exact details of this announcement today. But our CBS medical contributor, Dr. Celine Gounder, also notes that the best recent evidence and study does not show an association here.
A crash on Route 190 in Summers on Sunday left 2 people injured. State police say a Hyundai Elantra and a Jeep Wrangler collided just after 2 p.m. Troopers say the Elantra driver was headed east on the road, also known as Main Street, when the Jeep driver, while attempting to pass the car on the left, collided with the operator of the Elantra as he attempted to pull into his driveway. The driver of the Jeep was airlifted to Bay State Medical Center in Springfield. The other driver was treated for minor injuries. President Trump leaves for New York later today and the UN General Assembly. Much of the talk has been about the war in Gaza and some countries recognizing a Palestinian state.
There's a war of words going on. In the short term, I don't think it's going to change anything one way or another. Israel is going to continue with its military offensive in Gaza, where 2 million Gazan Palestinian civilians are trapped in the war zone in appalling misery. And there's growing criticism of Israel for that. Not only for that, though, for also supporting Israeli settlers seizing Palestinian land in the West Bank. The pressure is piling up even more in New York.
Correspondent Liz Palmer. New restrictions have been enacted at the Pentagon. Charlie Daggett has that.
Those rules state in part that journalists can no longer gather or report information, even if it's unclassified, unless it's been authorized for release by an appropriate authorizing official, essentially them.
Reporters who don't follow suit could lose their credentials at the Pentagon. WTIC News Time 3:04. Checking traffic. Got a problem in Meriden now, it looks like. 3-vehicle crash on Route 15, northbound side between exits 64A and B with the right lane out. Still working what's left of a vehicle fire down in Montville on 395 southbound side. They had the entire highway shut down there for a while between exits 5 and 2. Looks like now one lane has reopened. Let's get a look at the forecast from the WTIC Weather Center.
Sunshine mixing with some clouds for the rest of the afternoon. We'll top out in the mid-70s, and tonight partly cloudy down to 57. Tomorrow we'll start out with some sunshine, but the clouds roll in. It'll be a breezy, very warm afternoon, up to 83. There could be a thunderstorm, though, as we head into the afternoon. Any thunderstorm could produce some small hail as well as some gusty winds. Tomorrow night, still a couple of showers around, maybe even a thunderstorm during the evening. Tomorrow night, 64. Then Wednesday, maybe a leftover shower. Clouds giving us some sunshine, up to 78. Turns into a pretty nice afternoon. And then not as warm on Thursday, variably cloudy. A couple of showers around, the high up to 69. Friday, mostly cloudy. Again, maybe a couple of showers possible. We're up to 77. And then it looks like we should have a pretty nice weekend with highs into the upper 70s and a good deal of sunshine. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow Jones up 99 points. NASDAQ's ahead 153. S&P's up 30. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments, in most cases, have made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Here at ALO, we believe hearing main drain problems shouldn't cost a thing. That's why we offer free mainline drain camera inspections and free estimates on sewer line repair or replacement. Contact the trusted professionals at ALO when you call, click, or text today and say, hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
A winning team has great players and coaches with different strengths and expertise, but all with a common goal: to win. A full-service law firm is no different. At BPS Lawyers, we have top legal minds in every specialty: personal injury, business law, family law, criminal defense, and more. Visit any of our 6 offices across Connecticut. When it comes to the law, you don't just need a full-service law firm. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Visit bpslawyers.com. Proud full-service law partner of UConn Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearest is responsible for this ad.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, we're going to take your phone calls early. Normally, I would wait until roughly around the 4 o'clock hour, but this is an important conversation to have, and I knew there were going to be some people who were going to opine about it. But before I do that, I just saw this real quick from MSNBC, and I knew this was happening because I actually had a segment set up for this today to then sort of intro it for tomorrow's show. And that is because so many people showed up to this memorial, and so many people watched it across the country, and so many people who are now, with this refrain that I am Charlie Kirk and how he's inspired others from all walks of life, that this would be a threat to those on the left. And I knew that the 2 words that were going to come out of this were not going to be unity, togetherness. The words would be Christian nationalism.
What you are seeing here is a movement called Christian nationalism that merges Christianity as it's been practiced in America for, centuries with a very specific interpretation of what the founding fathers wanted, what Aristotle wanted, going all the way back to the ancients. You saw Larry Arnn, who is the president of Hillsdale College and a proponent of this strain of interpretation of the Bible, merge Christianity and protecting the Western civilization values into one and the same thing.
That's what's going to happen here. And if they're not smart, the left, they will turn this into a battle of good and evil. People who are Christian and people who are conservatives are already framing it that way. And again, as usual, because they are threatened by this unity, they will start to denounce Christianity. They will have no choice because, remember, their role is to combat anything that Trump is associated or aligned with. And if Christianity draws their ire, that's what you're going to see. So I'm hoping people on the left think, pull the reins back, tell these folks, don't get ahead of themselves. Because you're going to have one party that's going to say, hey, I'm just a Christian. And the other party saying, that's a threat. I don't think you want to have that argument. I don't think you want to be in the middle of that fight. Just thinking. Let's go to the phones. Let's take Jim. How are you, sir?
Yes, a long time no talk. I've been listening to you about the Charlie Kirk assassination, etc. Let me tell you, you just said something about Trump being aligned with Kirk. I believe it's the other way around. It was the other way around.
You mean
And
Trump?
Kirk
was. Are you saying that Kirk was aligned with Trump, or I'm not? Maybe I missed your point here. I'm sorry.
No, I think that Charlie Kirk, if there are millions of people out there, younger people especially, that may not hold Charlie Kirk's view on Christianity.
Right.
They may not hold part of his views on politics.
Sure.
But they certainly do hold to Charlie Kirk's position on explaining yourself and the facts that back up your opinion in a one-on-one conversation in a medium that a lot of those kids lost the ability to have.
Right.
Because of the way they communicate, whether it's a cell phone or whatever.
You think, Jim, let me ask you this. What you're saying here, and I don't want to paraphrase for you, so that's why I'm doing it in the form of a question. Are you saying that a lot of these young people who may not have aligned with Charlie Kirk on religion or even on politics would still join the fray, in essence, building a even bigger tent of conservatism?
Yes. Absolutely, which is why, unfortunately, that man was assassinated, because the opposite message was being heralded across his country by the unhinged progressive left.
Right.
Just absolutely, it's hate speech. It's as simple as that. And Charlie Kirk's unfortunate is not even the right word. The tragic assassination of that man.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is it that's wrong with how the man lived? You can't get anybody to tell you the man didn't live right.
Yeah.
Try to live right.
The only thing they can find is, all they can find, Jim, is they didn't like what he said. And that only begs the question, so what?
I think they didn't like the fact that other people were clearly understanding that he's got a right to say what he's saying.
That's right.
And he wants to know why you believe what you believe, and let's talk about it. That's the threat.
Yeah, he was normalizing disagreement in a civil way, and people who hate that had to extinguish it.
And isn't that the overall problem? And let me end with this, if I might. Let me end with this. At the end of all of this, and this goes way beyond Trump. People that follow Kirk, or just his philosophy on how you talk to each other in this country now. Imagine his power came from his hard work, his life, and what he believed, but he also used the media, specifically TikTok.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself how he could become so popular on TikTok of all places.
Yeah.
When we're ever told about TikTok is how just liberal everything is on there, and how everybody's got the right to have free speech. It turned around, and guess what? Charlie Kirk had a right to have free speech. And more people out there know it and agree with that.
Jim, he had something in this that I know that I don't. Maybe I have it a little bit, but not as much as Charlie did. He had a charisma that even those who disagreed with him wanted to engage in. That's what it was.
You know what it was? And it was based in a very simple thing. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you're thinking and why. Give me your reasons. Let's talk about this.
Indeed.
And that's the threat, because he's talking about community when everybody else out there is talking about, everybody else that is against him is talking about chaos.
Right. Tribalism and all that other stuff. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Let's go to James, who's in Newington. Hello, sir.
Hey, Reese. I want to kind of piggyback on the topic of the Charlie Kirk thing, in the sense of there was him pushing an economic message that a lot of people didn't understand was actually very similar to Martin Luther King's message at the end of his life. I don't know if people who are not in the movement, and I have actively followed Charlie Kirk for years, understood that one of the attractions for him on the college campuses was not that he was just giving people this freedom in this enemy camp to finally say what they feel, but he was talking about the issue of how do we have a party politically that says to the kids going to college, you're never going to be able to buy a home in America.
Right.
And that was one of his. People don't understand how many young people looking around, getting out of college, watching their rent go sky high, realizing that the huge debts that they have. No one was answering that question. And that was as much a part of the Republican Party message that he was getting out. And I will tell you what kind of influence that had on policy. One of the things that always happens in our news is they never connect the dots. But you connect the dots, Reese. So are you ready?
Yes.
The H-1B program, where Donald Trump just signed a $100,000 required fee for any new high-tech workers coming over, primarily for India and China,
right,
is an amazing thing for American workers, because I was in high-tech hiring for Microsoft and other companies in Seattle for over 20 years. What happened out there is when I started out hiring and recruiting, I could take a young candidate with a degree in computer science from the University of Washington and get them an entry-level job. But within 4 years of that H-1B program expanding, what was happening is the big consulting companies were bringing over these Indian companies like Tata and Wipro.
Yeah.
And they would sign up these H-1B people to salaries of $70,000 a year for a 7-year contract, and then put them at the most entry-level jobs at Microsoft. So no longer could that American worker get in the door and move up the ladder, right? So this is the message of economic empowerment that Charlie Kirk was speaking, and the effects he had on policy, because he was trying to say to Donald Trump, Donald, President, I know you understand that all these corporations are saying we need to have a great company, great business in America, but what they've been doing is cutting off the American workers at the knees for the last 15 or 20 years.
Yep.
And now you will find young people here who have graduated in STEM, science, technology, electrical, mechanical. We told them to do that. And they can't get in on that first rung of the ladder because it's all these outsourced companies. And I'll tell you, this is where I'm going to tie it into Jimmy Kimmel. Most people don't know that Disney was the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Disney hired an outsourced company to come in and fired all their IT workers to take over by H-1Bs. And the guys and women who were in those IT roles running the park in Florida had to train their replacements. And if they tried to leave before they completed training, they didn't get the exit pass.
Yes. I was actually covering that story before it was popular. Before I got to WTIC, I spoke to some of those people who were let go at Disney and were literally, talk about being held hostage by Disney to train their replacements. It was insanity.
I knew you could connect the dots, Reed. So that's what I like about your show, is that you have an opportunity to have a little bit longer form. So the person listening somewhere in Connecticut right now, I will tell you right now, they're over at Pratt & Whitney. And but it's worse. It's worse than that fact that we can't get the American younger workers in to learn the technology. There's another thing that's called business unit accounting in America. And what it does is it divides up a company like Pratt & Whitney into different profit centers, and each executive's in charge of each one.
Right.
Now, when I go out and I buy a car, I have to pay for the car. That's what a full-time American employee is. They're buying the car. But if I lease the car, I get a better tax treatment, which makes it look better for my profit and loss statement at the end of the year.
Right.
The problem of it is, if I outsource the technology at Pratt & Whitney for 4 years on the engines to a bunch of Chinese and Indian people from India and others, they learn all that technology, and then they go back home.
That's right.
And they help start companies stealing our technology that we spend billions to develop.
Is it? Hold on, I got to stop you there because you're making so much sense here. First of all, what you just described is already happening in China when American businesses, American businesses go to China. The first thing they do is, look, you only can hire our people, and there has to be someone who goes through every facet of your entire business. Why? Because that employee that the CCP has put inside, infiltrated into your business, is then assisting the CCP in creating your replacement or your bootleg product. That's exactly what the H-1B is doing here, is that they're bringing them here. They work for 4 years. They send them back home. Okay, tell us what you learned.
Thank you so much. And again, this is the problem with like local news here. I'm going to call it out because I talked to a recent reporter of local news, WFSB 3. I don't want to get 61.8. I have met them and they're nice people.
Yes.
They're not allowed to actually connect the dots ever, even in Connecticut. They're not allowed to look and say, this program by Donald Trump is actually going to help kids graduating from Quinnipiac, from Manchester Community College, from UConn to get into Arthur Andersen Consulting jobs. You know what Arthur Andersen Consulting, it used to be All Americans when I graduated. But basically for the last couple of years, when you hear that they're bidding a project, it's really them, and it's all being staffed by Tata and Wipro from India. So the American never actually sees any benefit of it. And that is why Pete Hegstaff in the Department of Defense, he just found out that some of our backup systems for, in the case of an actual attack from a foreign adversary, were being actually supported by an outsourced contract. I don't know which one of the consulting companies, so I will not say it on the air.
Okay.
But you can Google it up or DuckDuckGo it up. That was actually doing their outsourced consulting in a contract from China. So the Chinese were on a major defense system in case we get attacked, and they were the ones supporting it from China. Thank you.
James, thank you so much, and thank you for all of that info, but you're 100% right. We're outsourcing our own demise, and it's crazy because it used to be we sent them out of the country. Now it's literally insourcing, which is kind of weird that they found a new way to do the same thing. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. That's he's 100% right about it, every bit of that. I interviewed those folks over at Disney who told me those stories about how they were told you can't get your package, your severance package, unless you train the guy who is going to be replacing you. And can you imagine that? I would. I've actually had that happen once at a car service company I work for. I actually trained the guy who was going to be replacing me. I'll never forget that. And then after the guy got the job, he walked off a week later, he said, I'm going to lunch, and he never came back. And then they tried to offer me the job, and I looked at them like they had 3 heads. I was like, what? No. I demanded more pay. It's like, no, absolutely not. I was right here. I was the person doing the job, and I was doing it at, my entry-level pay. I did the supervisor's job in an entry-level pay because you didn't have a person replacing, and I loved learning it. And you did not reward me for it. You pulled the guy from the outside, and when he couldn't hack it, he walked off, and now you're offering it to me? No. No. Told him out the back. I was like, no, you shunned me right to my face. Incredible. It is always incredible to watch that stuff. Let's go to my good friend, Craig in the car. What's going on, sir?
Greetings from Georgia, sir.
What's going on?
I have a couple of observations. One's a criticism, and I think the other one may be a silver lining. And I'm curious if you thought of either one of these. Number one, words matter.
Mm-hmm.
And Erica's words were extremely powerful, as we kind of all knew it was going to be.
Sure.
But timing is everything. And I think whoever made the decision to let Donald Trump speak after Erica made a huge mistake.
Ooh.
I think in that situation, Erica deserved to have the last word on that day.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to agree with you on that.
Anybody in Donald Trump's circle knows that if you put him in front of a crowd, it's going to at least partly become a Trump rally.
Which it did.
Which it did. Not the entire time. He did his best to try to bring it all back to Charlie would agree. But I thought it was ill-timed. I thought if Erica had ended that day with I forgive him, there would be no way to negatively view what happened.
But do you think now? Let me push back on that a little bit, because I watched it as you did and many others did, and I will admit that there was a part of that where I was looking at if I'm setting up that dais, like who's going to be speaking, I am with you. Erica is, in essence, she's the closer. right? And I'm looking at this from like a stage production. So I'm going to kind of sort of separate myself from the emotion of it all. She is supposed to be the closer in all of this because she is the closest person to the man who has died. So you end it with her. I'm 100%. However, I know they're looking at this as the president of the United States is kind of the guy who's responsible for putting this whole thing on, and he's the most important person in the room as the president of the United States. So I get you. So there's a conflict there that I'm having with you, but I totally appreciate that. If I were doing it, Erica's the last word. So you're 100% right there.
Well, and I think it comes down to one thing I said to my wife yesterday.
What was that?
She asked why everybody was saying the same thing. And I said, because it's a memorial service. It's not a television show.
Right.
And I think by having Trump finish it, it ended up being more of that. But let me give you the silver lining real quick, 30 seconds.
Please.
You had made a comment earlier that those two girls will never get to know their father.
Oh, the boy and the girl. Yes, the children.
The silver lining that I find in this is they have 13 years and tens of thousands of hours of online video of their father that they can get to learn about him that most people never get the opportunity to do.
Yeah, to them,
they'll get to know his father just in a different way.
You know what? You're 100% right. It will not be. It won't be physical, but there will be a visceral remembrance of him. They will almost feel like he's a part of their lives because those videos he talks about so much about them, about his family, about his wife. And about his vision. So, yeah, you're 100% right on that. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Yep, thank you.
You got it. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. We'll take your phone calls as well. And we've got headlines on the opposite side. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC.
Hi, Joel Johnson here with Johnson Brunetti. Taxes don't pay a nickel more than you're supposed to, especially getting close to retirement or in retirement. Call or text the word taxes to request your free copy of our Tax Explorer Guide, 1-800-705-1232. Call or text the word taxes, 1-800-705-1232. Don't pay an extra nickel in taxes.
Investment advisory services offered through JB Capital, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance products offered through JN Financial, LLC.
Hey there, cats and kittens. It's Brian from The Commercial Break, the mediocre comedy podcast where my best friend Chrissy and I attempt to make sense of the world. We talk about the absurd, the ridiculous, and the stuff no one asked for, like internet weirdos, pickup artists, and why everyone is obsessed with crystals and colonics. It's all got to stop. The show is free, it's frequent, and it's probably not for everyone. You can go to tcbpodcast.com, subscribe at youtube.com/The Commercial Break, or check out the show wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll see you on the next commercial break. And best to you.
Suicide is something that affects all of us, and we can all play a part in saving lives. Make a difference in your community by walking out of the darkness with us on Saturday, September 27th at Duncan Park in Hartford. Help spread awareness and understanding. Send the message that help is available and raise funds for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Register today at afsp.org/CT Capital Area. And then we'll see you at Duncan Park on September 27th. WTIC News Talk 1080 is a proud supporter of the American Federation for Suicide Prevention Out of the Darkness Walk.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30 Hartford, temperature 75 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Looks like the Revolution Wind Project may be back on. During an appearance on a separate topic in Hartford today, Governor Lamont announced a stop work order by the Trump administration was overturned by a federal judge. Lamont says the work can begin again soon. State correction officers under arrest after he led police on a pursuit from Newington to Stamford with his children in the car. Started Sunday when 36-year-old John Layson Romero threatened to harm himself and fought with an adult woman in their home. Police say Layson Romero sped down I-95 where he ultimately crashed his vehicle in Stamford. Faces a host of charges, including kidnapping and risk of injury. Senior official says President Trump's administration, or in the administration, says Oracle will receive a copy of TikTok's algorithm to operate for U.S. users. The president expected to make an announcement later today regarding autism as well. Russian President Putin has announced that Moscow will adhere to nuclear arms limits for one more year After the last remaining nuclear pact with the U.S. expires, the 2020 New START treaty is set to expire in February. Putin today emphasized the importance of maintaining the status quo to avoid a strategic arms race and urges the U.S. to follow suit as well. In New Milford, police have arrested a 38-year-old youth football coach who allegedly pushed a 7-year-old player from an opposing team to the ground. Daniel Fazio is facing charges. The incident occurred during a game on Sunday. The team says Fazio is no longer a coach. WTIC News Time 3:31. Here's the forecast.
Nice for the rest of the afternoon. We'll have sunshine mixing with clouds. Temperature up into the mid-70s. And for tonight, partly cloudy, down to 57. Some sun giving way to clouds tomorrow. Breezy, very warm, up to 83. We could see a gusty thunderstorm during the afternoon. And then a couple of showers tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. Clouds break for some sunshine Wednesday afternoon. A high up to 78. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
From the WTIC 24-hour traffic network, 3-vehicle crash working Route 15 northbound in Meriden between exits 64A and B in the right lane. Also in Meriden, 2-vehicle crash 91 south between exits 19 and 18, also in the right lane. And in Windsor, 3-vehicle crash on 91 southbound side between exits 35A and 34. That should be off on the shoulder. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote renter's insurance at Progressive.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-220-4067 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-220-4067. That's 800-220-4067. What do you have to lose? Call 800-220-4067. Again, 800-220-4067.
If you're
1 minute.
debt and can't afford to pay,
Yes,
then you
sir.
need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800
All right, here we go.
Yes, 607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
Yeah, we are back. Let's get to some headlines. ABC may not be as easy as 1, 2, 3. Disney may be in more of a quagmire after trying to handle its decision on keeping Jimmy Kimmel Live on its network. Its new problems are with an ESPN deal. Disney owns that entity as well, and their deal that's supposed to be with the NFL. ESPN recently struck a blockbuster deal with the NFL, trading a 10% equity stake valued at around $2 to $3 billion for the league's NFL network, red zone, and fantasy football assets. The agreement requires regulatory approval from agencies working under the Trump administration, of course, the FCC. An interesting part about this is Benny Johnson and a couple of other people outside of him that I know have had conversations with Sinclair and Nexstar. And from what this looks like, I don't think Jimmy Kimmel's coming back. Because one particular affiliate, or at least one of the affiliate locations, had trouble selling local Ford dealership advertising on Jimmy Kimmel's show because they just didn't want to. And that has been the problem. It has been difficult for local affiliates to sell advertising during his show because he's so partisan that the private business owners are like, no, what am I wasting my money over there for? Nobody watches him. At least not people with enough money to buy a Ford. He's catering to people who never come into the dealership. He's throwing good money after bad. So they're not going to do it, and I don't think there's a likelihood that he's coming back. In other that didn't last long news, the AFSCME Council 4 is telling Governor Lamont to focus on wage contracts and not basketball. They released a statement, this related to the proposal to put some $25 million in pensions and invested into the WNBA team, the Connecticut Sun. They say, quote, these numbers have put their hard-earned money into the pension fund. Oh, these members, have put their hard-earned money into the pension fund, expecting a secure retirement, not for it to be used on a sports franchise that plays 18 games a year in Connecticut. Ouch. We urge the governor to leave the distractions behind and focus on preserving public services and respecting the state employees who provide them every day. So it looks like that possibility of investing that money into the Connecticut Sun looks bleak at best. Ladies, this news is not going to be helpful, and it should not be helpful to mayors like Justin Elicker during the election. Bridgeport and New Haven. The personal finance website Wallet Hub said today, they revealed its best and worst cities for women. Quote, living in the right city can significantly improve a woman's economic status, health, and safety. This according to Milvoin Cherry of Wallet Hub. She continued by saying that the best cities for women offer job security, high pay, enabling women to achieve greater financial independence. They also prioritize safety, provide easily accessible medical care, and have high-quality hospitals contributing to the best possible physical and mental health for women. Of the 182 cities in the Wallet Hub survey, Bridgeport ranked at 152. New Haven fared a little better at 146. Again, out of 182 cities. Again, Bridgeport and New Haven, well, it should be New Haven and Bridgeport, ranked as some of the worst cities for women. And that includes financial viability and safety. If I were to tell Steve Orozco, if you needed another feather in your cap, sir, to go up against Elicker, there's one. Maybe appeal to those women. And now for the stupidest thing I read today.
This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Richard Farley is an author with a new book called Drop Dead about the 1975 New York Post headline that says, Ford tells New York drop dead. Do you remember that? And that was related, of course, to New York being in a financial or fiscal crisis at the time. Ford ended up bailing out New York, but at the time he wasn't really interested because, of course, the city was being handled very poorly. Anyway, Richard Farley, who wrote a book about that, was on Dennis House's program this week on WTNH. And he said what had to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Because when Connecticut gained in 1975 is far from possible in 2025.
So if the socialist, Mamdani, gets elected, you believe that it could benefit Connecticut because there could be some companies.
Oh, I think it absolutely will, at least initially, because I think that there's a tipping point that's reached when you've got too much taxation, when you've got, if you're not going to have a police force that is as effective as Ms. Tisch is running right now, and he has not promised to reappoint her, you could see people leave in large numbers.
Lamont watches this program religiously. Thank you, Governor. What's your advice to him if he is thinking about maybe luring some of these disgruntled companies, if they are disgruntled come November?
I think being as business friendly as you can, and that means low crime and safe streets and low taxes. Those are the things that will attract the businesses out of New York. And it's not just out of New York now, because you got to keep them from going to Florida and Texas.
Sure. And who here thinks, who in their right mind thinks that Governor Lamont is going to lure businesses from New York to Connecticut when you have Texas and Florida to go to? And what's even crazier is that Richard Farley's analysis in all of this, he uses the 1975 model, that in 1975 there were businesses that left New York and went up to Connecticut. But he also adds in the caveat that there was no income taxes in Connecticut at the time. And we know that Connecticut is today a tax and spend wormhole. No business would ever think about coming here. I mean, Lamont was so desperate in 2022, He was trying to lure businesses by, wait for it, abortion. Abortion. Yeah, come here and kill your kids. That was his pitch. That was the pitch. Hey, if you can't stay on up there in these other states that don't share your values, come on over here to Connecticut. Well, we'll kill those babies right. Oakley dokley. Oh, and if Josh Elliott has his way, you really think that he's going to be able to lure him? What do you think his pitch is going to be? Oh, we can't wait to tax you. Come on up. Hurry, get up here. Are you kidding me? I'm waiting till you arrive so I can raise taxes. It's not even the stupidest thing I read today. It's the most laughable. Come to Connecticut. Let's take a call real quick. Hey, my good friend Fred in Middletown. Hello, sir.
Hey. Yeah, that's some high hilarity right there. I hate to break the flow, but I'm calling with a word copping. So, New Haven came in like 147 out of the 180. It's not a good place for women. Now, you said that's another feather in Steve Orozco's cap, and I believe the phrase you were looking for is another arrow in his
Well, the arrow in his quill. Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. And then if he wins because of it, having used it will be a feather in his cap.
Yes, indeed.
Yes?
No, go ahead. You were finishing.
Real quick on Charlie Kirk, I know practically nothing about him. I'm finding it out.
Okay.
I heard him a little bit on the radio. But I heard a fact today that he called out the how could they have been so unprepared on October 7th?
Yes.
He was like, what were they, standing down? I didn't know that. Did you know that about him?
I did see the audio when it originally aired. I saw it. And a lot of people have made that, who have had that commentary as it relates to Benjamin Netanyahu. They said that that his feckless leadership led to that. That was very early. In fact, just days after.
Isn't the word there? No, deliberate. That's deliberate. That's not feckless.
Well, I'm telling you what the word they used was his feckless leadership led to it.
Yeah. Hedging their bet. Yeah. When did that air, by the way? Months? Weeks?
This was probably recently that was aired because he was on. I know. Yeah. That particular show was on the PBD podcast with Patrick Bet-David.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me try to stop short of saying something stupid and saying once I heard that, I was like, oh my.
Yes.
That's some kind of a, quote, all I need to know ellipsis kind of a thing. I don't see anybody getting away with that.
I don't know whether or not, like, I will say this, that I feel that there is a degree of reach on that subject because, and I really do believe this, people are I'll go this far as to say this. I think that people want controversy where there is not.
Yeah, maybe. Do I have a minute and a half for a quick poem?
Not particularly, because I literally have to go in 30 seconds. Sorry, boss.
30 seconds? All right, well, let me just give you the tail end of it. Israel's indoor-outdoor, arguably genocidal carpet bombing. Hold on, from the top. In 30 seconds. It's not impossible for me to justify Israel's arguably genocidal indoor-outdoor carpet bombing of Gaza. Someone inside Israel letting October 7th happen, however, is a bridge somewhat farther. Yeah, dude, the shot spotters were taken out with small arms fire. With how many shots must the shot spotter be shot before a shot spotter spots that it's been shot?
Okay. I'm just going to vehemently disagree with that one, but okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got it. I don't know. I'm not going that far. I'm not. But then again, that's a conversation that people are going to really, really relish in. But I'm not going to give that yet. I'm not going to give that yet because I have so much other dirt to get through. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. I've got to talk about Harry Enton, polling data, and a conversation I had online with someone about that, about polling data and the midterms when we return. If you haven't seen this, stick around for it. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
I'm attorney Haley Allaire from Allaire Elder Law. When my grandmother's dementia progressed, my relationship with her changed. I had been her loving grandchild who she watched grow. She taught me to sew and make coconut bunny-shaped cakes at Easter, and once took me on a teddy bear picnic with her best friend Gloria. Soon, to her, I became a beloved person whose name she couldn't quite recall. In the end, I was just a friendly visitor. We were lucky that she never lost her kind personality, and she would say thank you for visiting and ask how I was. Her last words to me were work hard. Then she turned to my dad and said, "You don't work so hard." As a grandchild, the experience was emotionally very hard, but that was not made worse by logistics. Our transition from her living independently to having caregivers to a nursing home was smooth because we had an elder law attorney in the family to protect her assets and elder care coordinators to advise us on how to advocate for good care. It made all the difference. Allaire Elder Law, compassionate counsel and proven results. AllaireElderLaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Actual price will depend on
1 minute.
Products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, looks like all free speech has been restored. Jimmy Kimmel returns. Walt Disney Company announced today that they will be bringing back Jimmy Kimmel Live tomorrow after a week-long suspension over his monologue about Charlie Kirk. For the first time in years, everyone will be watching because they hadn't been, which I cannot wait for. I am not going to bother I don't give two damns about what Jimmy has to say. And I won't be playing his comments here, whether they are apologetic or not, because as far as I'm concerned, we already know that he wanted to double down. And anything that he says tomorrow night, if it's to capitulate or to be contrite, will be dishonest. So, with all due respect, I don't care. As I told you guys last week, don't care. Do not care. Jimmy Kimmel, at worst, was suspended. Charlie Kirk was ended. So trying to equate, and by the way, you don't have that chip to play anymore, even though it was real dumb for people to try to equate the two, like Jimmy Kimmel was some sort of martyr, because he wasn't. And I love the way Greg Gutfeld put it. So I have no empathy for a guy who's a multi-millionaire who gets to come home to his kids every day, as opposed to a guy who was literally started a movement from scratch as a teenager, who's been murdered senselessly, whose children will never see him again. They are not the same. Jimmy Kimmel faced being fired. Charlie Kirk was fired on. Jimmy Kimmel faced the possibility of losing his job. Kirk lost his life. You don't get to compare. You can't. Try if you might, but you don't get to. And for those of you who try, I have nothing but laughter for you. And the laughter in a bad way. Like, sit down, stupid. You look silly. Because you are. So we're not going to try that again. Jimmy's coming back. Yay! Now you all can collectively ignore it like you did for the last 10 years. Let's get our first check of weather and traffic. In for Bob Larson today is Carl Erickson, and Mark Christopher's back. He's at the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, sir.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and to everyone. If you're traveling southbound 91, we have an accident on the Windsor-Hartford line between exit 35A and B. And 34 is taking out the right lane. Delays are back to 38 Pequannock Avenue. Behind that, stay left. If you're moving beyond that, it looks a little slowed down by exit 28 on the Hartford Weathersfield line. And again, look out for a slowdown as you approach exit 19 in Meriden. Down to exit 17 for the Wilbercross Parkway. An accident reported between 19 and 18. That is shutting down the right lane there. Now, if you're on the northbound side of I-91, that looks good. Cromwell up into Windsor. If you're traveling westbound 84, delays East Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound delays from 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay. Heading into Middletown, 9 northbound delays Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound Cheshire slowing 26 down to the 691 interchange. Westbound 84 is a little tight, 23 to 22 in Waterbury. 95 southbound New Haven slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Pretty nice out there for this afternoon. Intervals of clouds and sunshine up into the mid-70s. Partly cloudy tonight down to 57. Sunshine giving way to clouds tomorrow. Breezy and very warm up to 83. There could be a heavy gusty thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. We'll have a couple of showers around then tomorrow night. Perhaps even a rumble of thunder in the evening. And then Wednesday will dry out. Maybe a morning shower. Clouds give way to some sunshine. A high 78. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. ABC will reinstate Jimmy Kimmel's late night show after suspending it due to his comments about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The network announced a short time ago the show would return tomorrow night. Kimmel faced backlash for his remarks, leading major affiliates like Nexstar and Sinclair to yank the show. President Trump celebrated the suspension. Kimmel expressed concern about potential government crackdowns on comedians. The suspension comes amid a shifting late-night landscape and ongoing debates about media control and free speech. A federal judge has ruled the Revolution Wind project can continue. The decision came today on the wind farm, construction of which was halted this summer by the Trump administration. Governor Lamont.
I haven't had a chance to follow up with Ørsted yet to see what the timing is, but it's good news on behalf of the consumers, and they're bringing down the price of electricity and honoring a contract with Ørsted that goes back to the first Trump administration.
The administration had cited national security concerns. The Danish company Ørsted said the project would provide enough power for 350,000 homes in Connecticut and Rhode Island. The United Soccer League is investigating what happened at the end of the Athletics match in Hartford on Saturday. The Athletic abandoned the game after player Marlon Hairston reported a Pittsburgh player making a racist remark. The Hartford team walked off the field, ending the game. Hartford Mayor Arunan Arulampalam.
It sounds like the Athletic did the absolute right thing to do. And look, hate has no place here in the city of Hartford. That word has no place anywhere in polite society in 2025. And so, I stand behind the Athletic.
The Athletic says it asked the league to investigate racially offensive language. The Pittsburgh team denies such language was used. Charges of kidnapping, strangulation, and risk of injury among those filed against a Newington man in a domestic violence incident and kidnapping, which ended in a standoff in Stamford. Police in Newington responded to a residence where 36-year-old John Layson Romero allegedly choked a woman before fleeing their home with their 2 children. Police Sergeant Matthew Desposito explains how a be on the lookout led to police finding the suspect.
Various communities do have plate reader cameras, which can pick up on the plate if it passes by and give notifications that it drove through an area. Law enforcement is connected by radio and computer systems in which we can share information to each other. So the vehicle description and all that was provided, and in the instance as serious as this, it extends beyond just the surrounding departments out throughout the entire state.
The bond is set at $1 million. President Trump going to be speaking momentarily about autism. The Washington Post reports the administration is prepared to link the use of Tylenol to autism.
The Wall Street Journal had reported earlier this month that the administration is expected to suggest that acetaminophen, which is the active ingredient in Tylenol taken during pregnancy, as well as low levels of folate, are among potential causes or risk factors for autism.
So now it sounds great, huh?
At the White House and officials.
How is that the level it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
I was doing so much surgery to get it right. The post, it's crazy.
To build a casino in New York are apparently off. Steve Kathan is that.
In New York City, there will be no casino in Manhattan. Today, a community board rejected a proposed Mohegan Sun resort near United Nations headquarters.
Wall Street, the Dow up 66, the NASDAQ up 157, S&P up 29 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
More than a few of our
1 minute.
me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments, in most cases, have made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
Here we go.
Offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
I totally forgot. We got to do our thing. And Roland, I'll send, of course, the winner to you.
Savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between rounds, between rounds, between rounds.
And congratulations goes to Kelly L. in Portland, Connecticut. Portland, Connecticut, not Maine or Portland, Oregon. Portland, Connecticut. That's right. We've got one, too. She, of course, is our recipient of a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe. And you can get a chance to win if you go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com to put in your information and apply. You must live in the state of Connecticut, like Portland, and you cannot have won within the last 6 months. So go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com in order to apply. Also, you can go to Reese on the Radio for a bunch of other stuff. You can listen to the show. You can go and read my my recent Substack article, which is about Jimmy Kimmel and the failing network that is ABC and late night altogether. So you can check all of that stuff out as soon as possible. I'm going to talk about, speaking of, I was going to say my article also was featured in the Connecticut Sentinel, which I want to thank those folks for doing that. But the Connecticut Sentinel has an article that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. It's about the Newtown School's behavioral therapist who's under fire for her racist and inflammatory comments, not as they just relate to Charlie Kirk, but so much else that's going on with this woman there. So I want to get into their article about that and people who are calling for the woman to step down, which I find interesting. And I've got an audio soundbite that's sort of that dovetails into another story I was going to talk about last week but didn't get a chance to. So stand by for that. But when we get on the other side of weather and traffic, I'm going to talk about this conversation that I had off air about the midterms. And there are people who are saying, well, they don't look good for the Republicans. The midterms, they're going to lose it all. CNN says something different. We'll play that as well on the other side of it. So stand by for that. Also in today's show, Hollywood news. Oh, and Kamala Harris. I got to talk a little bit about her book. But Hollywood news. Boy, talk about a retread from the 80s coming to the big screen. I love those kind of stories. Let's get to Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, buddy? How's your weekend? There you go. Hey.
You're always asking me if I've watched something.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Earth, Wind, and Fire special last night on
I
CBS?
did not, because, of course, yesterday was the 21st of September, which everyone loves to talk about that song. I was not... Can I tell you a little? I'll tell you two sides of this. One, I am not an Earth, Wind, and Fire fan. Second,
wait. You're a brother who's not into Earth, Wind, and Fire?
No, and here's where it makes it worse. My middle name is after Maurice White of Earth, Wind, and Fire. My mom gave me. Yes, she named me after Maurice White.
Oh my God!
And I'm not a fan.
Now this, wow. Now. The song 21st of September, which is called September, is about the due date of Maurice White's son.
That's right.
Where the song, that's what the song's about. Mm-hmm. But I thought for sure, but you don't like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nah, never did. My mom was a big fan of theirs. Loved their music.
Your mom and I would be...
Yeah, absolutely.
We would be getting down in the aisles, man. Your mom and I would be boogieing
I
on
couldn't
down.
stand any of my mother's music. Parliament, Funkadelic, none of that stuff.
What?
Oh, yeah. No,
Now
you know.
Sacrilegious.
Now you know what I feel like when you say you haven't seen a movie.
We're even, Reese. Thank you so much. Southbound 91 coming into Hartford. You got delays 38 down to between 35 and 34. Accident that was in the right lanes over on the right shoulder now. South of downtown, you're moving well until you get down in Meriden. Look out for an accident between 19 and 18 in Meriden in the right lane there. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is a little tight as you move out of the tunnel out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound is tight up. 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. 2 westbound's a little slow. 1D up to the 84 West Merge. 9 northbound's a little tight as you approach the Aragoni Bridge. If you are traveling 9 northbound, you got some slow traffic. 34 up to 36 in New Britain. On the westbound side of 84, look for delays from exit 37 down to 33 in Plainville. If you're on the eastbound side of 84, slowing in Cheshire, 26 down to the 691 interchange, and 95 southbound New Haven slows 46 to 43. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Pretty nice out there this afternoon. Sunshine mixing with some clouds for the remainder of the afternoon. Temperatures up into the mid-70s. Tonight, a partly cloudy sky. We're down to 57. And for tomorrow, we'll start out with some sun, but clouds will be on the increase. A very warm day, and the humidity comes up as well. We're up to 83. We could see a thunderstorm, though, tomorrow afternoon, capable of producing some small hail and gusty winds. Still a couple of showers, maybe a thunderstorm around tomorrow night, down to 64. And then Wednesday, maybe a leftover shower, but in general, will be dry out. Clouds break for some sunshine, the high up to 78. Right now, it's 74 in Newington, 71 in Unionville, and it's 75 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
It's summertime. If you're
What do you
between
mean,
the
John
ages of
Feerick?
17 and 25, now's the time to check your wisdom teeth. Impacted wisdom teeth can cause a lot of unnecessary pain.
That's who it was.
Sooner than later. Call 860-645-0111.
At Joe the Plumber, we stand behind all our residential work, except maybe toilets. I mean, we do great work on toilets, but toilets are right up against the wall, so they're kind of hard to stand behind, you know? Visit us at calljoetheplumber.com.
The dog days of summer are fading quickly. Hurry to get this limited-time preseason offer. Call ALO Home Services today and take advantage of their $99 heating system check special. Prevent costly and inconvenient breakdowns backed by a worry-free, no-breakdown guarantee. Call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO, licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P1027768, S1041348, D1040145, S330869, SN3004646, E1185643.
Scam hackers, criminals. They're looking for your personal information and finding it easier than you think. With Incogni, you can reduce your personal information exposure on the web. Your name, address, and phone number are shared on hundreds of public websites right now. Your family details, even where you live. It's all online, collected and sold by data brokers without your consent, putting you at serious risk. Someone could show up at your door, use your information to steal your identity, send scam messages to your parents, or drain your accounts in minutes. Incogni removes your personal data from hundreds of websites that expose your details, making it much harder for the wrong people to reach you. Because if they can't find you, they can't harm you. Get 1 year of Incogni Unlimited for 55% off today at Incogni.com and let Incogni remove your personal data. That's INCOGNI.com. Take back control of your privacy and reclaim your peace of mind.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Now, I have these conversations off the air all the time. In fact, I had a great conversation with Tim and Hamden. He and I spoke over the weekend. It's a little bit of arguing, as usual. I mean, he's no different off the air than he is on the air. True to form. But I have this one conversation off the air with another person on the left who is always talking about politics outside of his weight. Like he's punching above his weight, clearly. Not because it's me. It's just because he just doesn't understand politics. He deals with it in a very novice way. And I was there, and that's how I recognize it, because I never forget where I come from. And there are people in certain communities who only understand politics as it's presented to them. And when it is presented to you in a way that you can only parrot and not question or see how empirical evidence doesn't jive with what you're being fed, like if you can't see that when you're listening to it and you just repeat, you will get lost in all of this. So one of the things that this individual is always repeating like a parrot to me is, the midterms, they're going to be in trouble. Polling data says such and such. And I'm going, what polling data are you viewing? And it's always like this polling data from obscure places no one's ever either heard of or has ever considered. And they just take it, I guess, at face value. So what I like to do here on the program is cite places that liberals trust. And you know this, I've been here long enough. I have enough in, I guess, my archives on this program. You know that I always go to the same stock. That, look, if you don't believe me, will you at least believe the people that you already invested in? And I like to go to none other than Harry Enton of CNN, who is a committed leftist. And CNN, Katie Baldwin, are committed leftists, Democrats, who are cheering on their crowd. Here is Harry Enton talking about how the Democrats are doing against the GOP, not Donald Trump, against the GOP in key areas like the economy, immigration, and crime.
What are we seeing? Donald Trump being underwater, Democrats saying, oh, this guarantees us we're going to fly high in the midterms. Let me tell you, this guarantees you nothing, because at this particular point, the Democrats are the New Orleans Saints of political parties. What are we talking about? Trust the Dems or GOP more on the economy? Who leads on the economy? Republicans by 7. Immigration, Republicans by 13. How about crime, a big issue for Donald Trump and the Republicans? Look at that, lead by 22 points. So the bottom line is this. At this particular point, the ball may be on the ground, but the Democrats have not picked up the ball and running with it. If anything, at this particular point, it's the Republicans who are running with the ball on the top issues, the economy, immigration, and crime.
Now, Harry Enton went even further. He looked at polling data the last time the Republicans took over what? The House and the Senate in 2022. He looked at the polling data then versus what you just heard today. Harry?
Yeah, let's compare it back to 2022. I think this kind of gives away the game right here. Okay, the GOP is more trusted than the Dems on the economy. It was 12 points in 2022. Slight decline in that lead, but still 7 points. How about immigration? It was Republicans by 3 back in 2022. Look at this. The Republican lead's actually gone up by 10 points. What are you doing, Democrats? My goodness gracious. And on crime, the Republicans were up by 13, and now they're up by 22, the lead again expanding by nearly double digits. So whatever Democrats are doing, it ain't working, Kate. It ain't working. Republicans have the lead on all 3 issues.
What?
The protests, the firebombing, nothing, 0. But now I figured it's only right. Let me go to the place that everyone loves. Now, I got to be honest with you, folks. I say this often enough, but not, I say it often, but not enough, okay? About how I feel about the coveted independents. They're so important. The independent, or as I sometimes call them, Democrats in sheep clothing. No conservative calls themselves an independent. They say it proudly. So if you're rushing to the independents and you're calling yourself a conservative, like you're really, really ashamed of conservatives versus Democrats, really? In this climate, laughable. But they're the most important, right? Because everybody's an independent now. It's like one of those things, right? It's like the cool kids. How are they faring today when it comes to those 3 issues? Crime, immigration, the economy. Let's find out from Harry Enton. Sir?
You win with independents, you win overall. And what do we see right here among independents? Republicans still have a point lead on the economy. They got a 10-point lead on immigration. They got a 21-point lead on crime. The bottom line is when you look at these numbers, Democrats should call their offices because at this particular point, even if Republicans, or even if the public doesn't like what Donald Trump is doing, they ain't necessarily liking what Democrats are doing. And it ain't just a referendum on one party. You actually have to go out and beat that party at this particular point. Democrats are not able to beat Republicans. They still
and again, this isn't as Donald Trump came into office. These are numbers from this month.
These are numbers from September of 2025. Right. We still find that the Republicans leading on all 3 of these issues.
Okay? So we understand each other? So as much as I do this enough, for me, my wife tells me this is like shooting, fish in a barrel for me. This is easy. Why do I keep, beating up on, these people who don't know any better? I don't mean to do that. I don't know who they're fighting. I don't know if they're fighting the actual data or they're trying to fight me. Stop fighting me. Stop. It's not. I'm not suggesting that you should lay down your arms. I think that you should make a cogent case for your party, which you are not doing well. The evidence doesn't support your delusions. It doesn't. And I would go so far as to say, how am I doing on this versus you? I'm doing splendid. I'm kicking butt and taking names, usually, on these things. Why? Because it's my job. It's my job. You'd never trust me. You'd run away, go to other places if you couldn't. I'm doing pretty well here. Sorry, I don't mean to brag. Well, I kind of mean to brag. Can't help it. Let's get to the phones again. 860-522-WTIC. Tom in Thomaston. What's up, boss? Okay, never mind. We'll move on. Let's go to, hey, haven't talked to him in a while. What's going on, Ralph?
Good afternoon. I have a question for you.
What do you got?
You're a pretty intelligent guy. If I got on TV and I knowingly lie about something, is that free speech?
No, it is not. But this isn't a free speech issue. I don't even understand this. I have to explain this to people like they're 5-year-olds. This isn't a free speech issue. Anybody can say whatever they want. This is a consequence issue. And that's the problem. If I can go so far, let's have this exercise, Ralph, if we could. What's the one thing that Donald Trump said before the 2024 election that people said that he shouldn't say anymore? In fact, they said him saying it was inciting. What was the thing that he kept repeating?
You got me.
The 2020 election was stolen.
Oh, stolen, okay.
Right? It was the one thing that people said he shouldn't be allowed to say, but then argue for Jimmy Kimmel's free speech to lie about who assassinated Charlie Kirk. Right? Everybody, even Republicans, were on this network, on this program, saying, I wish he'd stop saying that the 2020 election was stolen. And I went, he's got the free right to say so. He's got the free right to argue any election.
Well, we all know that the 2020 election, there were a lot of games played.
Yes,
with COVID,
but you weren't. But you weren't allowed to say it.
Right, but 47 million people got their ballots in the mail. So many of those I mean, this is, you got to be a total idiot to believe that was fair.
Hey!
In fact, they caught one guy with 300 ballots in his car.
Ralph, I said it over and over again. I said, and I asked a simple question. I asked it here in 2022. You're going to sit up here and tell me that the guy who won was running in an election who said that if Donald Trump were to win, that this was fighting for the soul of the United States, he could not be allowed to win, or it was going to be detrimental and existential threat to the entire world as we know it. And you're going to tell me with that on the line, nobody cheated? Nobody pulled out all the stops to win? Like nobody? They all said, let's make it fair because he was such a threat. All we could rely on was an honest election? Am I supposed to believe that? No.
Oh, also, look what happened recently in Bridgeport. Didn't they get this woman arrested twice for stuff in the ballot box?
Exactly.
Exactly. Democrats.
Yeah. Again, that's what I said. But again, as far as the free speech thing was going, the guy who was the president of the United States was not allowed the free speech to question the election. And now they're screaming.
Hypocrites.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
And you know that, and I know that.
Yeah.
Because one thing they fear, and I talked about this before, they fear more than anything else is the truth.
Yep.
And the second thing they fear more than anything else is a black person like you with a brain.
I don't think this. I don't listen. They're not afraid of me, Ralph. If anything, they're ticked off at me. They're not afraid. They're annoyed. Because trust me, when I get the messages, they tell me they're annoyed.
You have common sense, and that's something that they lack.
Yeah. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Let's go to Lori's in Glastonbury. Hello, Lori.
Hey, Reese. How you doing today?
Pretty good. What do you got?
So I didn't know. I'm late to the show per usual, and I didn't know if anybody had talked about the Charlie Kirk vigil in Glastonbury yesterday.
I did. No one did. In fact, did you attend?
Yes, sir, I did.
Please.
And Mr. Jonathan DeBars was there.
Yes.
And I got a chance to meet him, and that was great. It was absolutely lovely. It was organized by someone here in town, and it was just a beautiful. It was a beautiful time. It was. We started at I think 12:30, and it went well into the afternoon, and hundreds of people were there.
Wow.
And NBC 30 actually showed up and did a short news blot about it. But it was absolutely beautiful, and all things Charlie were shared and encouraged, and the gospel was shared. It was great.
Were any notables there that you recognized or that got up and spoke, with the exception of Jonathan DeBarros?
Oh, Rob Sampson.
Oh, Sampson was there. Okay.
Got up. And I was like, oh, Bob Sampson, he talked on Reese. And I went up to Jonathan and I said, hey, I heard you on Reese on the radio. And he's like, oh yeah, great guy, wonderful, and did a wonderful job speaking to the crowd.
Yeah, he and another friend sent me a message. They sent me a text message not too long ago. They were hanging out together. So it's nice to know that those people think of me when I'm there. Don't worry, I can't wait till I'm already calling it home. I can't wait till I get home. When I get there, that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be me anywhere and everywhere. And Lori, I hope that I get to come hang out with you as soon as possible.
Oh, you know what? I would love, well, I know you wouldn't appreciate it, but I would love to show you and Roseanne some of the great restaurants in the area, because I'm a big-time foodie. And like I said to Roseanne, I'm her huckleberry when it comes to all things Bible. So,
no doubt. She is really, when she gets here next week, I'm hoping she's here by Friday. She has been talking to me about some things that have been inspiring her about Charlie Kirk that she can't wait to share with you guys. You have no idea how all of this has, just everything from July 13th last year to today, I have seen a woman I was already in love with, but now I found new ways to appreciate her and to love her, and I can't wait until she gets to share them with you guys.
I love that. You know what? Just praying for her and her growth in the Lord, because it's a wonderful journey once you're on it.
Yeah.
And like I said, any resources that she needs, I'm more than happy to help.
Not a problem. Lori, I got to go. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's get to weather and traffic. We got Mark Christopher, who's in the BPS Traffic Center. We'll be back.
Now, did you celebrate National Wife Appreciation Day yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Good man.
As soon as I saw it on Facebook, I went, hey, that's a thing?
I celebrated between the late game and Sunday Night Football last night. That's when I celebrated.
I think that's a great window.
Only window I had.
It was like 15 minutes.
We did a lot of celebrating in a short period of time. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, Southbound 91, you got delays 38 down to exit 36. In Windsor, again, you're tight, 34 down to 32 A and B. In Hartford, again, some more slow traffic down by exit 28. More slow traffic again as you move from 20 Country Club Road in Middletown, sluggish right down to exit 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91, good ride, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up just after 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound tied up 46 into the tunnel. 2 westbounds a little tight, 1D up to the 84 west merge in East Hartford. If you're heading 84 westbound, look for some slow traffic in Farmington 37 out to exit 33 and the 72 interchange in Plainville. Also slowing 72 westbound approaching exit 2 up to the 84 merge in Plainville. If you're 84 eastbound in Cheshire, a little tight 26 into the area of 691. Westbound 84 slows 22 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Nice for the rest of the afternoon. We'll have sunshine mixing with clouds. Temperature up into the mid-70s. And for tonight, partly cloudy, down to 57. Some sun giving way to clouds tomorrow. Breezy, very warm, up to 83. We could see a gusty thunderstorm during the afternoon. And then a couple of showers tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. Clouds break for some sunshine Wednesday afternoon. A high up to 78. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
4:30, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Federal judge has ruled the offshore wind project for Connecticut and Rhode Island that was halted this summer by the Trump administration can start up again. Revolution Wind plan is to supply over 700 megawatts of power for the two states. That wind farm would be located just off Block Island. The Trump administration this summer issued a stop work order citing national security concerns. 2 people were hurt Sunday in a crash in Summers, Route 190. State troopers say a vehicle attempted to pass another on the left as it was attempting to pull into a driveway. One person sustained serious injuries, the other minor injuries. Connecticut correction officer is facing charges after police say he led them on a pursuit to Stamford from Newington with his kids in the car. John Layson Romero is charged. Police say he had a fight with another woman before he took off. The Hartford Athletics says it left the field during a match on Saturday against the Pittsburgh squad. This due to racially charged comments made by a player from that team. The White House announcement about autism expected this afternoon. President Trump claiming over the weekend that they found the answer to the developmental disorder, but brain experts say they already know there is no single cause. They say the rhetoric appears to ignore decades of science and the genetic and environmental factors that can play a role. The French President Macron says France is officially recognizing the state of Palestine. The move coming during a UN conference chaired by France and Saudi Arabia aimed at generating new support for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. On Wall Street, the Dow finished up 66 points today. The Nasdaq gained 157, and the S&P was up 29 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio. The guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See you. For warranty details, promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Okay. I just want to make this 100% clear. Stand by for me. I'm going to do something a little redundant, but it all will make a point. Listen closely. Barack Obama, Gavin Newsom, Chris Murphy, Anna Navarro of The View, Wanda Sykes, comedian, Jean Smart, actress, Jason Bateman, Mike Birbiglia, comedian, Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, Jennifer Aniston, Robert De Niro, Jane Fonda, and Gloria Steinem What do all of those people have in common? All of those people told you last week that Donald Trump was responsible for removing Jimmy Kimmel off the air. And now he is back on the network. They still have a looming FCC litigation. Why aren't they lying? Why aren't they called liars? They all said that Donald Trump was responsible for him letting go, but ABC suspended him for his comments, and they're putting him back on the air tomorrow. How can we trust any of those people? Or let's go one step further. Did they not know? And did they use Jimmy Kimmel's suspension to smear the president? Yeah, I'd say so. Because clearly they had no knowledge of what was going on. Barack Obama could call up ABC anytime he wants to. He's Barack Hussein Obama. So could the case of Gavin Newsom. Chris Murphy could have called one of his connects. Anna Navarro works for ABC, the Disney Channel. And Jimmy Kimmel's back. How do I trust these people anymore? Were they all lying? Yes. Yes, they were. So all of that nonsense last week that all of you were spewing and repeating like a bunch of parrots, what say you now? My bad. I was, you know what I'm saying, son, I got caught up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got caught up. Per usual. So Jimmy Kimmel's back. Whose fault is that now? I guess it was ABC's all along. Huh. Go figure. Let's get another check of traffic and weather. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading toward Hartford right now, southbound 91, got some slow traffic as you move between exit 37 and 36. And then delays again, 34 down to 32 A and B in Hartford. Another bump down by exit 28. And you'll slow again as you move between 20 and 19, heading Middletown into Meriden. Northbound 91, that looks good. Cromwell through downtown, up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. Again, some more delays. Farmington into Plainville. Westbound 84, 37 Finneman Road out to the 72 interchange. 72 westbound slowing from exit 2 up to the 84 West merge. If you are heading into Waterbury, 84 westbound, a little slow at the Mixmaster, and heading into New Haven on the southbound side of I-95, you got delays 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th, WTIC News Talk 1080.
This report is brought to you by Moderna.
Mnexspike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna has arrived. To learn more and find it near you, visit mnexspike.com. That's MNEXSPIKE.com.
WTIC weather.
Pretty nice out there this afternoon. Temperatures up into the mid-70s, sunshine, some clouds. Tonight we'll have a partly cloudy sky down to 57. And for tomorrow, very warm, some sun to start. Clouds will roll in. And we could see a thunderstorm in the afternoon, capable of producing gusty winds, small hail, topping out at 83. Still a couple of showers around tomorrow night, especially in the evening, below 64. Then Wednesday, clouds break for a little bit of sunshine, but again, maybe a pop-up shower, a high up to 78. Right now, 75 in New Britain, 73 Manchester, and 73 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote renter's insurance at progressive.com.
Second opinions.
You get them with your health.
So why not with your wealth?
Your stock market investments deserve a second opinion.
At Henyon & Walsh, it only takes a second
to schedule your free second opinion.
Go online and search for Henyon & Walsh, the second opinion people. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Henyon & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Henyon & Walsh Inc., member FINRA SIPC.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of...
Hold on a minute.
We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this.
It's Reese on the Radio.
Let's just say some people are not fans.
On News Talk 1080.
WTIC.
Hey, I'm going to take this thing that's on my Facebook page. If you're watching online, you could probably see it there. It's to my left. I asked AI to create a patriotic Charlie Kirk hat that just reads the word Kirk, and it came up with this hat that's here if you're watching online. By the way, if you're on the radio, if you want to, just go to reasonoradio.com and check out the program at this point, roughly about 4:40 into the show, like third hour. And you can see it there. I love that hat, and I think I'm going to get it made and wear it here on the show. It's really, really a nice hat. So I was trying to figure out, I was like, oh, what would the hat look like? And they gave me all these designs, and I saw that one, and I couldn't wait to get to it. Anyway, let me go to the phones now before I get into some other stuff that I need to get into. I've got to get into the Newtown School behavioral therapist. I've got to talk about Kamala Harris and the Madam President cupcakes and Hollywood news, which is coming up. A story that all of you will be interested in and a little bit surprised about who's producing it later on in the program. So stand by for that. Let's get to my good friend Simsbury Joe. What's up, boss?
Hello there. So
hey.
I have to disagree with something that Ralph said.
Okay.
Ralph said that you have common sense. And I used to think that until about a half an hour ago when you said you don't like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh, come on, man. It's not my fault. I don't like them. I don't like Kool and the Gang either.
Well, I don't like Kool and the Gang either, but Earth, Wind, and Fire and Barry White, that's the soundtrack of my life.
Okay, Barry White's different. I love Barry White.
I won't do my Barry White singing imitation because it's very, very good, and it might get some people riled up.
Oh, excuse me.
But I wanted to, I didn't have a chance to connect with you on Friday. Patty had a great call.
Yeah.
Talking about the vaccine stuff, and I know that that's going to be discussed again.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of pieces of information that I really wanted to get across to people. And you know, you recall probably 4 years ago now, are we looking at? Where,
yeah.
Some of us were saying, don't take these vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
They're not tested. They're lying to you, blah, blah, blah. And we were right. Well, Kathy Hochul the other day, for those people who are wondering, okay, who's that? I know the name, Governor of New York. There is a photograph out of her getting a booster.
Yes.
And the problem is that people blew up the photograph. There was a cap on the injection.
No.
So nothing went in her body.
No.
And also, people in the medical profession were saying, wait a second, this is supposed to be an intramuscular injection, and the person was giving it to her far lower than any COVID injection would ever go.
No,
so I bring that up to people who are thinking, winter's coming, I'm getting my injection. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it for the 50th darn time. Stop taking these things. If this woman is going to lie to all of you to encourage you to take it, don't do it. Use your brains. So that's the first thing. Second thing is some new information came out It was Friday, I believe, Friday morning, about the attempted assassination of Justice Kavanaugh.
Yes.
And now we're finding out that the person who did it was already identifying as, guess what, before they did it?
Transgender.
So I just wanted to check that box because I'm going to continue to call every time something like this happens, because we've got a massive problem with people that are either trans or supporting trans deciding to become assassins.
Can I take you in another direction on that same point? Okay? And I know you weren't prepared for this, so if you don't really have an answer, I totally get it. But bringing it up is something I find kind of interesting. So during the presser today with Caroline Levitt, someone had asked the question about the administration. In fact, it was also asked by the president while he was on Air Force One about this distinction criminally with the transgender community. There was some matter, I'm not articulating this well, but it was associated to violence in the transgender community against individuals, of course, you know, stemming from the Charlie Kirk assassination and, of course, from other school shootings and things like that, okay? I'm only asking this because it's in a very weird way I have to put this. Do you think that this is going to be another wedge issue that Democrats are going to fall for that's going to hurt them? And what I mean by that is the same way Donald Trump did it with crime in D.C. and crime in these inner cities. Is he going to get people in the Democrat Party to start standing up for violence within the trans community, which will also be a wedge issue that he can win on?
For the life of me, Reese, and I know I've said this before, why the Democrats are so supportive of the trans community is very concerning to me. I'm not calling them, I am calling them ignorant because they are mostly ignorant, but there's always this thing in the back of my mind that bothers me. And what bothers me is that maybe they know something about something that's happening to us as humans, that they are staying on this issue and with this support because they know in 10 or 20 years, there's going to be a lot more of them because somewhere in our environment, our food, our drugs, whatever, something has gone terribly wrong.
Well, you know, Judge Joe Brown, you remember him, right, from the TV show?
Yep.
Yeah, well, he's got a podcast. I've actually been on his podcast a couple of years back. I was on like almost every Friday night with him. And he said something back then, and I want to say this was at least 5-6 years ago. But he's always said that that has been nothing more than the left's determination to feminize boys so that they will not commit war.
First I'm hearing of it. I'm not so sure. So
I'm going to send you the link. I'm going to send you the link where he talks about it.
Okay. Let me say two real quick things here. Patty just texted me, so I'm going to give her credit for this right while I'm talking. She says trans is setting us up for transhumanism. That is not too far-fetched.
That is not far-fetched. That is.
And then there's a good friend of mine who's up in Canada who really is trying to lead the fight against it's an even bigger push for trans stuff in Canada than it is here.
Yes, of course.
There's more conditioning. And she sent something to me yesterday. She said, there's no such thing as trans, just special mental illness elevated to a special caste.
Yeah. Well, the interesting part is like, you know, Canada, although a different country, is kind of what I say too close to the edge. Because what did they do in Canada? They criminalized opposition to it. That's the thing that they have done. And and now that we have this other thing where in Europe, in England in particular, now Germany is probably even worse so now, we have this criminalizing free speech or speech in general. You have all these people who are Westerners who keep saying we need to establish the UK or the European model. Well, if I'm following folks like Canada and the European model when it comes to speech and criminalizing speech, I'm deathly afraid of that. We couldn't have a better president than Donald Trump who is trying to combat that kind of globalism. Because what we're seeing is, in essence, what is obviously what they want to bring here.
what goes on in the UK right now, and Scotland and Ireland, is. So I know some of us have really looked into it, and we're very up to speed on it. And I know there's others that have not been able to be up to speed on it. It would shock you beyond belief the kinds of things that people are going to prison for.
Yeah,
that they're saying that is 100% accurate. It's one thing if you want to criminalize free speech, which I am not for criminalizing free speech. But if I run around and I say every Muslim is a child molester, and I keep doing it, and I try to get hate against Muslims doing that, someone's got to, it's free speech. It's wrong for me to do that.
Right.
But the stuff that they're saying is 100% factually accurate, and the government doesn't like people saying it, and that is chilling. And if they had guns, they would have fought back. They don't have guns anymore. So
yeah, there's a criminal. Yeah, there's a criminal. I knew that this was going to happen when I heard those conversations, one, when we started using the term hate speech here in this country, and then the one that really got me, and this was not too long ago, Joe, was there was a case with this woman just after they had changed the laws in London where you could, if you were catcalled by a construction worker, like they used to do back in the 70s, you whistle at a girl because she's pretty. In England, they had made it, a law where if you catcalled a woman, you were arrested for it, right? Because it's illegal and obscene. And the thing about that, I thought was like, wow, that's crazy. What a way to curb, harassment. Okay, I thought it was a little, beyond the pale. But that wasn't where it got bad. It was the case that I heard a year later where a woman accused a guy of catcalling her a month prior. And she was able to get him charged because someone had gotten in her ear. She had mentioned it in a conversation. Yeah, I remember one day that this guy catcalled me, and the woman told her, well, you can get him arrested. And it was a month later, and she got the police to arrest that guy for something he had done a month ago. So that was like how do you have criminal evidence of something that happened a month ago in conversation? But they still arrested him just because of the accusation, which to me was just like, where the hell, what road are we going down?
Well, there's a story that I can absolutely not tell on the radio. The next time you and I, have the pleasure of talking, remind me to tell you having to do with something I'll just describe as
similar,
accusing someone of a crime a long time after, and the horrific story that I'll be able to tell you. That is just bad.
I appreciate you. Thank you, man.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You got it. Yeah, again, like I'm saying, this is 60 Minutes covered that story about about Germany charging people with words. It's just like, what in the world? Oh, so Donald Trump is giving his speech on autism. And this was actually a study that everyone is kind of aware of now. I think it was sort of leaked or sort of, I don't want to say leaked. A leak is a bad explanation for it. That said that acetaminophen was a contributor during pregnancy that could lead to an increase in autism. And there were case study that was held back from public view, that the CDC was holding back and other physicians were holding back, which I don't understand how there's no criminality with that. Not that I think that everything should be charged with a crime, but not giving families access to that information seems criminal, if not cruel. And so now that Donald Trump's having that discussion, you know what? I'm going to see if we can grab a soundbite, if we can jip it a little bit. And by the way, that's join in progress for people who have never heard that term before. And see if we can get a little bit from it. I can't, if I just play the TV, you won't hear it. So I have to actually put it on my screen in order for you to actually view it. So we'll get into that as well. When we come back, also, top of the hour, we will do Hollywood news about a 1985 iconic thing. I can't even say, if I tell you what it is, you're going to know what it is. an iconic thing from 1985 and 1986 that is getting its first feature film. And who's producing it will blow your mind. It's that crazy. Let me take Bill real quick, who's calling somewhere in Connecticut. Hello, Bill. Okay, not a problem. All right, I'll take, you know what? I have time. Yeah, I'll take, is Tom and Thomaston back? Tom, he's always in his car. How you doing, sir?
Hey, well, I don't want to be repetitive. Did you hear any of my rant?
What do you mean? Which one?
Well, I called in, but I guess maybe you didn't hear any of it. When Fred called, it annoys the hell out of me that he implies Netanyahu was implicit in the murder of 1,300 people.
I know. And again, this is exactly what my point is. I said that's why I told him. I said, look, I don't agree with that. And I think that this is another case of people wanting to apply conspiracy to everything instead of just dealing with the facts. Because even now it's happening with Charlie Kirk. And I'm like, this is where you get ahead of your skis, is you're only going to taint it.
Reese, Fred is supposed to be this intelligent guy. He's the wordsmith, the WTIC. Has he ever heard of, if not a word, it's a phrase, has he ever heard of Occam's razor?
Yep, Occam's razor.
Show me the proof where Netanyahu did this, and I'll vote to hang him from the highest tree.
Yeah.
The brutal murder of those people is horrific.
Again,
so where is his proof?
You know what I
Where
say?
is his proof?
I don't think that this is one of those things where people are actually allowed. They don't allow. There's no allowing of truth in it. If I can break it down to you, it's really this simple, right? If it seems plausible, it should be shared. And if it should be shared, therefore it should be discussed. And this is one of those things, right? I'm not going to sit up and argue with it and say, like, I can't. It's not that I'm not going to give it some credence. So on the other hand, I'm just going to say you're going to have to do a little bit better than that. But thank you, Tom. I got to take a break, man. Thank you. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. The BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, look for delays from exit 36 down to 32 A and B. In Hartford, again, slowing 27 down to exit 28, Hartford Weather Shield line. More delays, 21 in Cromwell down to just south of exit 20, Country Club Road in Middletown. Northbound 91 looks real good. Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tight up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound sluggish, stop and go. About a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay. 2 eastbound moving well into Glastonbury. 84 westbound, you've got delays now. 37 Finneman Road out to 33 in Plainville. The 72 interchange also slowing. 72 westbound approaching exit 2 up to the 84 west merge. If you are traveling into Waterbury, a little slowdown on the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway, you've got some slow traffic by exit 50 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 South New Haven, tight 44 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunshine mixing with some clouds for the rest of the afternoon. We'll top out in the mid-70s, and tonight partly cloudy down to 57. Tomorrow we'll start out with some sunshine, but the clouds roll in. It'll be a breezy, very warm afternoon, up to 83. There could be a thunderstorm, though, as we head into the afternoon. Any thunderstorm could produce some small hail as well as some gusty winds. Tomorrow night, still a couple of showers around, maybe even a thunderstorm during the evening. Tomorrow night, 64. Then Wednesday, maybe a leftover shower. Clouds giving us some sunshine, up to 78. Turns into a pretty nice afternoon. And then not as warm on Thursday, variably cloudy. A couple of showers around, the high up to 69. Friday, mostly cloudy. Again, maybe a couple of showers possible. We're up to 77. And then it looks like we should have a pretty nice weekend with highs into the upper 70s and a good deal of sunshine. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. President Trump on autism and pregnancy at the White House a short time ago.
Acetaminophen, which is basically commonly known as Tylenol, during pregnancy can be associated with a very
28 Hartford Weathersfield line. More delays, 21 in
risk of
Cromwell down to
autism.
just south of exit 20
So
country.
taking Tylenol during pregnancy is
can be associated
not good.
28
All right,
Hartford
I'll
Weathersfield
say it.
line.
It's not
More
good.
delays, 21 in Cromwell down to
The White
just
House
south of exit
officials
20
are
country.
pitching a form of vitamin B used in cancer treatments that could be used to treat autism. That news conference at the White House is continuing as we speak. Construction of a wind farm off Block Island that was halted this summer can resume. A federal judge blocked a stop work order by the Trump administration for Revolution Winds project. The administration had cited concerns over national security. Governor Lamont says in addition to power for the region, the project means jobs.
Look, it was 100 specific to what's going on at State Pier and what's going on with the installation vessel and Eversource. Thousands if you include everybody in the supply chain.
Ørsted, the company behind the work, says the wind farm would generate over 700 megawatts of power for Connecticut and Rhode Island for roughly 350,000 homes. Multiple charges have been filed against a Newington man accused of choking an adult woman and kidnapping their 2 children before being stopped in Stamford. Newington police had put a be on the lookout warning Sunday for 36-year-old John Layson Romero and his vehicle, which was later spotted in the area of Canal Street in downtown Stamford. Newington Police Sergeant Matthew Disposito explains how the car became involved in a crash during the pursuit.
Mr. Layson Romero was not cooperative with law enforcement, which resulted in a bit of a prolonged standoff at the vehicle, which resulted in the dispatch of a SWAT team and crisis negotiators, ultimately where they were able to resolve the situation by taking Mr. Layson Romero into custody and getting the 2 children away from the vehicle.
Charges against Layson Romero include kidnapping and strangulation. Kids are okay. Bond was set at $1 million. The state says there are 94,000 public school students with learning disabilities. Now special ed programs are getting a boost. Governor Lamont and lawmakers passed an additional $60 million over the next 2 years for expansion grants. The state's Special Education Division Director, Brian Klimkowitz, says towns can use the money in a number of ways.
They can use the funding for any costs related to special education. That could be direct services to students. It could be allocated towards staff and recruiting for special education. There's even a provision in there for proactive tiered interventions at the general education level.
The funding could reduce the need to send special ed students to other districts by allowing towns to expand their services they provide their own students. West Hartford police continue to search for suspects after vandals struck North Catholic High School over the weekend. Just after 4 on Sunday afternoon, police say they responded to a report of damage to the school's track area. Damage was done primarily to the track and soccer nets. They also say it included a racial slur on the ground and one sprayed on the property. Anyone with any information being asked to get in touch with the West Hartford PD. Disney has announced Jimmy Kimmel Live will return to ABC tomorrow night. Hundreds of celebrities signed an open letter urging Americans to defend free speech following the suspension of the show in light of comments Kimmel made in the aftermath of Charlie Cook's assassination. Reporter John Baird outside the studio in Hollywood.
Local residents and some tourists were walking by the studio early today. A few of them were taking pictures. Most of them said they felt the show must go on.
And it's disappointing that the network that controls Jimmy Kimmel caved.
I think when you hold a president to a lower standard than a comedian, I think we're in trouble.
One man who claimed to work on the show said so far it's business as usual and that people are still on the job. John Baird for CBS News, Hollywood.
Wall Street, the Dow finished up 66 points today. The NASDAQ gained 157 and the S&P was up 29 points. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Another summer over,
Notice that your energy is lower. Your workouts aren't as productive. Perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time. Maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Northeast Men's Health and get treated for your low T. Because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-tests and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let's do some Hollywood news with your correspondent, Reese on the Radio. All the glitz, all the glamour. It's Hollywood news. In today's installment of Hollywood News, an old 1980s icon is coming to the big screen. The live-action movie following the beloved animatronic toy known as Teddy Ruxpin is getting a movie made. Yeah, I thought you'd be interested in that. Yes, that's correct. According to Variety magazine, they're going to be bringing Teddy Ruxpin to the screen. They say it's a blend between Sonic the Hedgehog meets Elf with Will Ferrell. And they say that this the script is actually being written, and there's going to be a competitive bidding war in order to see who releases the film, even though it is going to be, I guess, owned by Amazon and MGM Studios. So a whole bunch of people are fighting over it. What makes it interesting and will definitely get it greenlit is the fact that one of the producers is none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is at the helm of this film. So there you, and for those of you who do not know, Teddy Ruxpin was like one of the very early animatronic talking bears before Ted, the other film. And so now they're saying that
I had one.
Did you have a Teddy Ruxpin?
I had a Teddy Ruxpin.
Did you? That's wild. Okay.
Yep.
Would you? I'm assuming.
I was about 7 years old.
7 years old. Now, was this? Look, I'm not trying to disparage you in any way, but was the purpose of buying a Teddy Ruxpin? Was it for like children who were only child, or if you had older kids who no longer lived in the house, or teenagers, that this sort of gave the kid a pal, so to speak? Like, was that?
No, it was me and my sister. We were only 18 months apart.
Okay, so you guys could, in essence, could be friends. But if you're boy and girl, your friends circles, like, you don't really, because I know I wasn't that way with my sister. We were not pals.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I always thought that kind of stuff was for single kids, like one.
Yeah, I cried because when my tape part broke, I cried.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, you can relive it now. Let's get to weather and traffic. Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. What do you think, Mark? Teddy Ruxpin, a live-action movie produced by The Rock.
Can you smell what The Rock is developing?
Apparently, Teddy Ruxpin movie.
There you go.
Well,
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, this traffic report being brought to you by Amplify CT, and the westbound ride of 84 tied up approaching the Bulky Bridge out, sluggish right out to 45 Flatbush, 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the downtown tunnel. If you're southbound 91, delays approaching 33 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28, more delays, 21 in Cromwell down to exit 20, Country Club Road in Middletown. Looks real good, 91 northbound, Cromwell up into Windsor, 291, 384, no issues, 2 eastbound's a good ride, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. If you're heading down in toward New Haven, southbound Parkway slowing 50 into the West Rock, 95 southbound delays 46 down to exit 44 in New Haven. Suicide doesn't come without warning. The signs of suicide are there: isolation, mood swings, hopelessness, increased substance use. These can be warning signs of suicide. If you or someone you know needs support, call or text 988 today. Learn more at amplifyct.org. Together, we can save lives. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, partly cloudy sky for tonight. Pretty comfortable night. We'll dip back to 57. And for tomorrow, we'll start out with some sunshine, but clouds will be on the increase. It will be a warmer day up into the low 80s, but with that warmth comes fuel for a couple of thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, capable of producing gusty winds, small hail. And we'll have a couple of showers around tomorrow night. Again, maybe a rumble of thunder in the evening, the low 62. And then Wednesday, clouds break for a little bit of sunshine, maybe a leftover shower, the high up to 73. Right now, it's 72 in Farmington, 72 in Wallingford, and it's 73 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
I'm Ed Evans.
1 minute.
Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people
Yes, sir.
50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million. No medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Let's see if this rings a bell, Roland.
Show and tell time. Another teddy bear? My teddy's name is Teddy Ruxpin. He talks, he tells stories,
Four batteries not included.
Hi, my name is Teddy Ruxpin.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that was creepy even when I was a kid. It was like,
Nah, I love Teddy Rocks.
I don't know. That thing just seems weird to me. Anything where a doll is talking will take me right back to the, what do you call it? It takes me right back to any, Twilight Zone episode just immediately. That will always, nope. Don't want any parts of it. Just inanimate objects should not be talking. Let's get to the phones real quick, and then I've got this other stuff I need to get into. Let's go to Jeffrey in Meriden. Hello, sir.
Hello, good afternoon. I just a couple things about Trump. I'm getting a little concerned about Trump. I'm a big supporter of Donald Trump for almost 10 years at least. But right now, this term, it seems like he's being more of the bully, and he's like getting desperate, like yesterday with the autism claims and everything. I don't consider what came out today a major breakthrough. I mean, for crying out, everything's like, it could. You know, there's no background information or proof that it can cause autism. And to bring it out where he did yesterday at that ceremony, I thought was really low. This is not a major breakthrough, but he does this too often lately. And I'm concerned about that. And I think he's running. He's out of desperation. He's scared still about the Epstein stuff in the background. He's trying to make these other big stories to support him, where people would say, "Oh, he's doing a good job. They'll let the Epstein crap go by the wayside." You know.
I'd be happy to respond. I wanted you to be able to get all of this stuff out.
And the other thing too, I think there's something in the Epstein material regarding him.
So you're not
or
done.
Possibly, or Melania. And
it's Melania.
I think the only whoever, and the only reason it's not brought out yet is because Maxine, his partner, Epstein, in
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Now, yeah, her only trump card is Donald Trump for a pardon. So
Okay. Do you mind if I respond, or did you just want to?
Go right ahead.
Did you want to go?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. Let's start with the breakthrough on, as far as he's calling it, on autism. He said he was going to be breaking news on that today. Again, I agree with you. I don't think it was breaking news. I think we all had sort of a sense of that's what the conversation was going to be. It was pretty much leaked, or for lack of a better word, it was leaked. You think that the memorial yesterday was a distraction from the Epstein files, the ones that you appear to think that he is certainly in. If you don't mind my ask.
Not yesterday per se. Not yesterday per se.
Well, I'm talking in general. Yes, you said that you believe that he is in the Epstein files. The man has run for president 3 times. He's already the president a second time. And you think now he's fighting to keep his name out of the Epstein files when they had this at their, they literally, the Biden administration had it in the palm of their hands with everything that we know that they tried to do, like secret meetings with Nathan Wade. We know that there were conversations. Sir, I let you speak. Let me finish. Secret meetings with Nathan Wade that he actually billed the White House counsel with when he visited them in Augusta, Georgia. We know that that the vice president was meeting with Letitia James and meeting with Fannie Willis, who also did actually get the mugshot of Donald Trump. So we know that, and let's not forget the leaker in chief, none other than Adam Schiff, and the other Fang Bang Bang, Eric Swalwell. All of these people doing everything in their power. Oh, and don't forget impeaching him twice. They all had access to the so-called Epstein files, and they never, ever came out until after he was elected, when the democracy that they swear to God that we are hanging by a thread by is on the line. They decided to bring it out today.
There's a simple reason for that, though.
Oh, yes, please.
Epstein has dirt on both sides.
Oh, so wait a minute. So when it was detrimental to keep Donald Trump out of the White House, no one brought it up?
He's got equal trash on all of
them.
them.
No, sir. I'm talking about the people who could have used it against Donald Trump. Now you're playing the both sides game. You're saying that Donald Trump is keeping... Wait. So what was... Hold on. Donald Trump has been president for a little more than 8 months, right? He's had the power to release them. What was the excuse of the Biden administration and the Department of Justice there? What was their excuse for not releasing it? Because it wasn't at issue? Donald Trump wasn't running?
Is that a statement or a question?
No, I'm asking you. Is it, why did they not bring it out? You haven't, no. Maybe you're not understanding the question. They had the ability and the information in their hands. And if Donald Trump was in it, and they really wanted to fight to save democracy, why didn't they utilize the actual nuclear option?
He's got dirt on both sides.
No, sir, it's what I asked you. Forget about, no. Remember who can manipulate the info as we received it. The Biden administration had the nuclear option in their hands.
There's no need to yell at me.
No, I'm not yelling at you. I'm asking you, is that if I'm the president of the United States...
Let me respond.
No, I wasn't done yet. I wasn't done yet. I'm the president. When I'm finished, I'm the president of the United States. I am trying to save democracy. I have got to keep the devil. I'm not done. I've got to keep the devil incarnate from ever getting inside this Oval Office. I've got Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump's name in the files. What do? I hold on to it?
Can I answer?
Yes, please.
Number one, we don't have a democracy. We have a government run by unelected czars, period, on both sides. Number two, Epstein has garbage on both parties.
Epstein's dead.
To gain by bringing it out against each other.
Epstein's dead.
It's a private country club between those two parties.
Oh, so you're saying that the way that they held on to it was to sabotage Trump's presidency after he beat them?
He's not sabotaged yet.
Goodbye. I try. Why? You had this is what's called painting yourself into a corner. It's that simple. Why would I use it against Trump after he is in office and all of his loyalists are in Washington, at the FBI, at the Department of Justice? All of my people. So you're telling me that the people who used to be in power, who wanted nothing more than to end any chances of the guy getting into office, they got 34 felony counts over rewriting one check 34 times. They hauled him into probably the worst prosecutor in the country, in Fannie I don't need no man Willis. They get her to prosecute him and countless others in a case that is fallen apart by the wayside. I mean, fallen apart. They did all of that. They kept him off the campaign trail. They called him every word in the English language. And they had the documents right in their hands. And they definitely knew, according to this guy, they knew Donald Trump. Look at him, name right there, clearly a client, according to this guy. And they said, yeah, let's hold on to that until after he beats us in the election. Oh, and don't forget, after Joe Biden looks like a complete, we're talking a zombie on a debate stage where every Democrat, which we're now learning in Kamala Harris' books, that's about to come out, I think, tomorrow, and they're finding out that there were people who were watching that debate and screaming. Rob Reiner, the actor and director, screamed at Doug Emhoff, Kamala Harris's better half, and said, we're about to lose our democracy because of you. They had Jeffrey Epstein right there at the moment where they were desperate a week before. We're talking the 27th of June for him waiting to drop out of the election and put in Kamala Harris. And by the way, Kamala Harris, such a horrible candidate, afraid of her own shadow. Her staffers, afraid of her own shadow. Couldn't go on Joe Rogan, couldn't do tough interviews, was in hiding, all at the time, holding on to the Jeffrey Epstein bombshell. Never used it. Paid millions of dollars to Beyonce to not sing. And we're supposed to believe this nonsense. Really. Kamala Harris and her staffers, they were so arrogant. Remember, never using Jeffrey Epstein as the ace in the hole. Never. They had Madam President cupcakes sitting at the ready on election night. After they knew that she had lost, staffers had to scrape the icing off the cupcakes to give them to staffers to eat. An embarrassment. I would say it was just as embarrassing as Newsweek's cover of Hillary Clinton that said, Madam President, but I think this one stings a little harder. And with all of that, you think that they waited on this bombshell until after he beat the pants off of her? Embarrassed the President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden? You're really running with that? Who is the person who really, just with all of that evidence, and folks, just to make it hurt just a little bit more, I just pulled all that off the top of my head. I didn't need to go to any documents. I didn't have to go to a reference, a note, nothing. You're going to sit up here and tell me that Jeffrey Epstein, that's the bombshell. That's the thing. That's the destroyer. And nobody went to it? Not even Joseph Biden, where his team and people outside of it, from Nancy Pelosi to Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer drove all the way from New York to Delaware to tell him to drop out. And Epstein was in their files? They didn't even try to save him? George Clooney had to write an op-ed just to get rid of them. Oh, and they eliminated any possibility of a primary. Again, Epstein sitting in the files right there. Could have gone to it anytime. Are you trying to make, in this, let me just say this. This will make things even worse. Let's make it even worse for Democrats. Let's say that it's true. Let's say that every Democrat is absolutely right that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. If they've had that in their coffers this entire time and never used it, the ace in the hole, never use it, how can you ever trust them in the future if you won't use the tools in the toolbox to win? What have they done? What have they done with the tools that they have? They firebombed Teslas. They got old folks to rally on No King's Day. They're fighting with ICE agents screaming about masks. No wonder Democrats are losing. They had, again, a nuclear weapon, and these guys chose cap guns. This is the party you're standing behind? These are the people that you want to put your lives in the hands of? They can't even fight with the weapons that they have. They've had a brass knuckle, and these people came in with, I don't know, clothespins? Stop it. If you don't think that this sounds ridiculous in any way, I can't help you. Like, how could I possibly help you? You should work harder in convincing me into being a Democrat. I tell you how to win. Because clearly when you have the arsenal, you don't know how to use it. And you come back at me with all of this nonsense trying to express to me, the reason why I didn't use it is because Epstein had everybody. Epstein's dead. You can lie all day about everybody else, and you couldn't lie about this? Stop it. Like, how are you not embarrassed? Not even by yourself, but by them. They're embarrassing you every day. But yet you hold on to them and you say that we're in a cult. We know who the cult's. We know who's in a cult. Stop it. It's actually it's sad to watch. At this point, it's really, really sad. I feel bad for you. We got to get in the weather and traffic. We'll get ready to wrap this thing up really soon. We'll get your phone calls as well. I'm so embarrassed. Let's get to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford southbound side of 91, look for slow traffic from exit 34 down to 32 A and B. You'll see another bump down as you move Rocky Hill into Cromwell, 23 down to 22 in the Route 9 interchange, slowing again, getting by exit 21 in Cromwell. Northbound 91, no issues. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. Westbound 94 slowing East Hartford, approaching the Bulky Bridge to 47 Sigourney. And again, you're going to see some slow traffic, 84 westbound, 38 in Farmington, down to 33 in Plainville, and the 72 interchange. Eastbound 84, you got some slow traffic now approaching 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291, 384 moving well. 2 eastbound's okay into Glastonbury. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury looks good. 95 South New Haven, some tight traffic, 46 down to 44 on the southbound side of 95. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunshine mixing with some clouds for the rest of the afternoon. We'll top out in the mid-70s, and tonight partly cloudy down to 57. Tomorrow we'll start out with some sunshine, but the clouds roll in. It'll be a breezy, very warm afternoon, up to 83. There could be a thunderstorm, though, as we head into the afternoon. Any thunderstorm could produce some small hail as well as some gusty winds. Tomorrow night, still a couple of showers around, maybe even a thunderstorm during the evening. Tomorrow night, 64. Then Wednesday, maybe a leftover shower. Clouds giving us some sunshine, up to 78. Turns into a pretty nice afternoon. And then not as warm on Thursday, variably cloudy. A couple of showers around, the high up to 69. Friday, mostly cloudy. Again, maybe a couple of showers possible. We're up to 77, and then it looks like we should have a pretty nice weekend with highs into the upper 70s and a good deal of sunshine. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
5:30, 72 degrees in Hartford. I'm John Silva. Looks like the Revolution Wind Project may be back on. During an appearance on a separate topic today, Governor Lamont announced a stop work order by the Trump administration was overturned by a federal judge. Lamont says the work can begin again soon. It's about 80% complete. Expected to provide over 700 megawatts of power, according to Ørsted, which is overseeing the project, adding it would power about 350,000 homes in Connecticut and Rhode Island. State correction officer under arrest after he led police on a pursuit from Newington to Stamford with his children in the car. Started Sunday when 36-year-old John Layson Romero threatened to harm himself and fought with an adult woman in their home. Police say Layson Romero sped down I-95 where he ultimately crashed the vehicle. He faces charges of kidnapping and risk of injury. The children were not injured. President Trump says women should not take acetaminophen, also known by the brand name Tylenol, during the entire pregnancy, citing what some in his administration say are links to autism. Made the comments a short time ago at a news conference at the White House. A senior official in the president's administration says Oracle will receive a copy of TikTok's algorithm to operate for U.S. users. The decision addresses U.S. national security concerns over the social media platform. Russian President Putin has announced that Moscow will adhere to nuclear arms limits for one more year after the last remaining nuclear pact with the U.S. expires. The 2010 New START treaty is set to expire in February. Putin emphasized the importance of maintaining the status quo to avoid a strategic arms race. And New Milford, police there have arrested a 38-year-old youth football coach who allegedly pushed a 7-year-old player from an opposing team to the ground over the weekend. Daniel Fazio facing charges. The incident occurred during a game on Sunday. The team says Fazio is no longer a coach with them. On Wall Street, markets up today. The Dow gained 66 points. NASDAQ picked up 157, and the S&P was up 29. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
At Ayala Home Services, we handle hundreds of water heater issues a year. We know how much of an inconvenience no hot water is, and with our fully stocked trucks and warehouse, you can get your hot water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted professionals at Ayala Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S1041347, D10401465, S33086999, SN3004646, E1185643.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for the content of this ad.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Ken just asked a question that is perfect for this portion of the show, which is, of course, is what had happened was Ken asked Reese, how do I listen to the beginning of today's show? People tell me you were great. That's exactly how. You go to WTIC.com or you go to the Odyssey app. You can also go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com and after the show, go right to the beginning so you can listen to the opening monologue. And thank you, Ken, for asking. That's why we do this. What had happened was all the time. So for those of you who are just joining us, let's break it down. We started off by asking the question, whom among us can forgive? And this, of course, had to deal with Erica Kirk and her statements yesterday, forgiving the man who murdered her husband.
Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man. Him.
We were talking about how difficult it is for some of us to forgive. And, you know, I was expressing how her forgiveness is for her. It's not for the rest of us. And I know a lot of us watched that and just went, wow, and immediately looked upon themselves and said, could I be that brave, and could I forgive so soon? It's only been 11, 12 days since her husband died. It's an incredible, it was an incredible speech, an incredible gesture towards the murderer. So, you know, how do you do that? Also, we broke down the stupidest thing I read today, which was the author of Drop Dead, talking about the 1975 financial crisis of New York. He told Dennis House of WTNH this week with Dennis House that businesses, if they do leave New York, and they can always come to Connecticut. Oh, and we had quite the laugh. Sorry, we're still laughing about that. Also, we talked about how Democrats are not doing well against Republicans this coming midterms because the people still trust Republicans when it comes to things like the economy, immigration, and crime.
You know, what are we seeing? You know, Donald Trump being underwater, Democrats saying, oh, this guarantees us we're going to fly high in the midterms. Let me tell you, this guarantees you nothing, because at this particular point, the Democrats are the New Orleans Saints of political parties. What are we talking about? Trust the Dems or GOP more on the economy? Who leads on the economy? Republicans by 7. Immigration, Republicans by 13. How about crime, a big issue for Donald Trump and the Republicans? Look at that, lead by 22 points.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what we talked about. You can always download the Odyssey app, go to WTIC.com or go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com so you can find out what happened was on today's show. All right, with that, we'll get to our weather and traffic with our good friend Mark Christophers at the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, 91 southbound, you're looking at delays from 34 in Hartford down to 32 A and B. And then once you get south of downtown, a little slowdown as you move between exit 22 and 21 in Cromwell. Another slowdown down by exit 19 down to 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91 looks good. Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tightening up 56 Governor Street out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound is running a little slow as you move about a mile before 46 Assistant Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound side of 84 is tied up from exit 40 to 39A. Again, heavy traffic 38 down to exit 33 in Plainville and the 72 interchange. 72 westbound slowing 2 up to the 84 West merge. If you are heading into Waterbury, 84 westbound, a little slow at the Mixmaster. South 95 New Haven, tight 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Another partly cloudy sky for tonight, down to 57, low 50s in many outlying spots. And tomorrow we'll start out with some sun, but clouds will be on the increase. It'll be a warmer day and a little bit more humid. Still feeling like summer, up to 83. There could be a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon, capable of producing hail, gusty winds. We'll have a couple of showers tomorrow night, even a rumble of thunder in the evening, the low 62. And Wednesday, clouds break for some sunshine, maybe a shower, the high up to 73. Right now, it's 72 in Windsor Locks, 71 in Bristol, and 72 in Hartford. This is meteorologist John Feerick in the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. If you are a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote renter's insurance at progressive.com.
Looking to retire with confidence? Get the answers you need. Tune in to Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman. Sunday mornings at 9:30 on News Talk WTIC AM. Strategies, insights, and smart retirement talk. Don't miss it.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Actual price. Subscription plan. Featured products are
Thank you,
compounded
sir.
drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're about to wrap this up. I think it is safe to say on tomorrow's program, we've got a huge exclusive, this one coming out of the Gateway Pundit. A New Jersey man secures nearly 1 million documents from Detroit's 2020 election, including copies of absentee ballots and signed envelopes in one of the largest election FOIA hauls in U.S. history. We'll break all of that down tomorrow. He's got a U-Haul truck. Ooh, I can even look that number up. Anyway, that's full of all of these, and we'll break that story down to you as well. Sure, there's no election fraud. I'm getting this message on Facebook, and I keep asking the simple question, right? And this excuse, because, again, it doesn't make sense, and I wish people would explain. So I'm Joe Biden, and I've got, I've got a DOJ and a FBI director, CIA director, all of these people that I've appointed. I've got access to the names on this list. And if I want to, I can destroy anybody's political fortunes at the drop of a leak, which, again, we know what was happening. We know James Comey was leaking. We know John Brennan, Jim Clapper. We know they were all leaking. Peter Strzok. We know all of this deep state stuff. We wouldn't even know the word deep state without it. This is all going on. We have verified evidence that all of this is going on. Adam Schiff, we found out that he had a lackey, a whistleblower, who says Adam Schiff was leaking everything to anybody. What was the purpose of leaking this stuff? To destroy Donald Trump. Why? Because they didn't want him in office. So every underhanded thing you could think of. And the excuse for not taking down politically the guy who is the extreme demon, according to them. The one fight, they never touched him. And the reason everybody's giving is because, well, there were both names on there, Democrats and Republicans. I'm going, I leak to the media anything I want, and they'll do my bidding because they don't like him either. I can leak anybody's name I want to and withhold any name I wish to protect. And the media would never ask a follow-up question. They would never go, anybody else on the list? I would simply go, not important, trying to get this guy out. You know what? My bad. Yeah, give me all of that. Had it and never used it? And you're sitting up here telling me that not once did you're going to open your mouth and go, these people don't even know how to go to war. But yet I'm going to war with them. Chris Murphy is on television telling you to go out into the streets and fight for them. When they had that in their power, I mean, and by the way, let's go one step further. Even the guy who cannot shut up about Donald Trump ain't saying he's on the Epstein list. Chris Murphy. Anybody? Anyone? Is Chris Murphy said that? The guy who's running for president in 2028? Is he said that? Anyone? The guy's he's on a world tour with Max Frost, his more than likely running mate. Is he out there screaming anything about the Epstein files? He's screaming everything. Said Jimmy Kimmel being fired. Is government overreach? Still nothing from Chris Murphy on the Epstein. Why? The guy has found every reason to admonish the president of the United States, but yet no mention. No one's curious about that? Not even you? Huh? Stop. Seriously. It should be embarrassing because it is. What's going on, Sean?
Hey, great summation of the Epstein stuff, because the deal is, if they had it and if it was on there. Now, Trump doesn't deny he used to have a friendship with Epstein until Epstein crossed the line in Mar-a-Lago.
Yep.
And when he crossed the line in Mar-a-Lago, he kicked him out. Party was over. Okay? And if you don't think billionaires hang around with billionaires, then, monkey
exactly.
fly, okay? So but that's not why I call. The other thing, real quick, the unforced error. Ted Cruz jumps on the bandwagon to have the FCC guy, the head of the FCC, fired before he even finds out the real deal. When it wasn't the FCC that got him off the air, it was ABC, it was Disney and his employer.
That right there, my friend, you are 100% right, which was, again, one of the reasons why I loved when asked about it. Everybody who was supporting this move by ABC, they said, well, even Ted Cruz is saying that it's, and the response to that was, well, Ted Cruz is wrong. And it's simple as that. Nobody brought up Ted Cruz again. They said Ted Cruz is wrong.
And I actually called his headquarters to say, why are you giving an unforced error? Why are you creating an unforced error? But that's not why I called. I just wanted to call about the service yesterday.
Yes.
Okay, for Charlie Kirk. It was absolutely phenomenal. A celebration of life. Okay? Doesn't mean he did everything right as Christians. I'm a Christian, but guess what? We're flawed. We're sinful by nature, and the only thing that saves us is Jesus' sacrifice on the cross and his resurrection. That's it. It doesn't make us better, doesn't make us worse. It just makes us forgiven as long as we're willing to receive his blessing.
Oh, the left hated that patriarchy because that's to them. That's all that was. The celebration of Jesus Christ and the celebration of Charlie Kirk for them is just nothing more than bowing to the patriarchy, which again is what the left hates.
Well, Omar and all those other ones who want to say that and want to say it was hate speech. Okay, you're in for a rude awakening.
Yep.
When our day comes, and it comes for all of us, and we never know when, okay? Because someone could drive on the wrong side of the road, and I'm gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I better be right with my maker. And I'll tell you right now, real quick, it really comes down for me. All decisions are really heaven and hell decisions.
Good point.
One's going to draw you closer to our Savior. One's going to drive you away. And
Yeah.
here's the deal. All you have to do is watch the division of the left, the far left, and how much they hate. And if hate is what you want, then hug them. Because right after you hug them, they'll be looking for a soft spot in your back to stab you when it's convenient.
Yeah, I know. I was talking about. I was talking a little bit about that today. In one of these messages that I got, but you're right on point. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Let's go to Robin Meriden. Is this going to be about the cops, or is it going to be about the subject we're on?
No, the subject we're on, the police, that's a dead horse. Just look at Canton, Massachusetts.
Okay.
That says it all. But anyway, let's talk about the Epstein thing. I know that's another dead horse. Andrew, they had the Martin Luther King files. It took forever to release them. 9/11 real files took forever to release. And I got some notes. Last time I had them, but I lost them. But then there was another Martin Luther King, and then you had Prince Andrew. But that is, once he got the only one that got in trouble, he had to pay the price. He's the one who squeaked. Then they said we were protecting Clinton. Clinton was on the list. Like you mentioned the word deep state. Why is it being released now? I could be lying. I could be faking it. But the only man who went down is, what's it, Prince Andrew?
Prince Andrew? Yeah, but only reason why Prince Andrew went down, and that's, again, this is the old
And
thing.
that's why
He was
they're not being released.
No. Prince Andrew did not go down because of any list. He went down because an actual person implicated him, an actual individual who was a victim. Pardon?
There's videos that prove. There's videos.
I'm in agreement.
On the video also.
Rob, I'm in
You
agreement.
want to say statutes
Rob,
of limitations?
Rob, I'm in agreement with you. My point is that there is actual evidence thereof. But even I'll go so far as to say this: Bill Clinton, you've never heard me once. If you've ever heard me, I've never once mentioned.
I'm not. That's an accusation.
Oh no, I know. I
can't
don't make
prove
those
it.
accusations because again, there are nothing to support them.
Release the files and
No,
prove it.
here's my point. What files? And if I may ask you, stop, Rob.
deflect.
Let me say the word. Let me say the words. Files. What are you talking about when you say release the files?
They had 30 cameras inside both mansions. 30.
That's not a file.
Video cameras. What's that? They took all this.
That's not a file. What are you talking about when you say the files? Okay, then that's separate. Okay, so release the videotapes. Okay, so release the videotapes. And the videotapes, in your estimation, have nefarious acts on them, is what you're saying, right?
I think Maxell didn't rape the women.
Well, I'm going to go one step further. Here's what I'm going to say.
Deflect.
If you let me put it to you this way. And maybe you should go and watch the press conference that happened outside.
Oh, I believe everything that comes out of their
Rob,
mouth.
you gotta let me finish.
Please.
Listen to the press conference outside the Capitol, where a lot of the victims were sitting outside. And the lawyer who was there representing them said something that was very weird and questionable. He said that at a certain age, these women were farmed out to individuals. Now, the reason why that even touched a nerve with reporters was because when asked outright if any one of those individual women were trafficked underage, not one person answered in the affirmative. Not one. The lawyer said, you have to listen. The lawyer said, and go watch it, because I played the audio here, said at a certain...
mean who's on the video, though.
No, again, I'm going to finish. He said, at a certain age, these women were farmed out. Now, if we're going to be pulling its threads here, pull it that... No.
Limitations.
You really didn't understand what I just said to you?
You're trying to deflect it. Like
No. You're not... Okay. All right. I'm not...
You for picking up my call. No, I really do.
Maybe this is... I'm hoping... It's my fault. I'm blaming me. Okay. You got to do better research. Just everybody. You got it. You got to stop with the outrage and the screaming. And I think, with all due respect, it isn't about what you think. It's really got to be about what you know. And if you're not doing the work, if you're literally just listening to everybody and then repeating it, you are a tape recorder. You're a parrot. If you really, really care, if you're really, really interested, you have to do the work. You do. And if you want to debate me on it, you have to do your homework. You're not doing it. See, I'm sitting up here saying, I did all the work, where's yours? I'm Common Core mathing it for you. I am telling you what the answers are, and I'm showing you how I reached the conclusion. You are sitting up here giving me doubts. And then when I ask you, tell me how you came to that conclusion, you go, because. What are you, 6? Come on. Do better. I know what you want. This desire for it to be the thing that you want because it supports your theory isn't enough. And I know that there are the old school days of doing talk radio the way that you guys have gotten used to it. Those days are over. Respectfully, those days are over. Okay? Until these people write me a pink slip, we do things differently here. So if you want to have a conversation, I'm not going to do the innuendo. Work your butt off. If you want to have that debate, disagree with me, but don't come on over here about I heard. That's not enough here. It just isn't. I hear these people railing off and just rattling off things. I'm like, it's noise to me. I'm doing the work every day. I'm getting more and more information, sitting up here, researching, doing the job for you. Why? So I can come to you with at least some evidence of what I believe, at least backs up my point of view. Can you just do that? I'm not trying to embarrass anybody. I just want to have a reasonable conversation about this stuff. It's actually tiring. You know what? It couldn't be a better time. You know what? I forgive you. That's what today's show is about, forgiveness. That's what it is. I'm keep thinking about that song that Anna Faris is singing in that movie, Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds. Forgiveness. I keep thinking about that. I've been thinking about it all day. I have no idea why. I just have. I'm trying, folks. I'm just trying. I'm not perfect. But as Grace Jones would say, but I'm perfect for you. We got to get up out of here. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC and Charlie in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese On The Radio. You have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here on Tuesday. Let's get to some weather and traffic, getting you home. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, sir.
Reese, have a great night. This traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. If you are traveling into Hartford right now, southbound 91, look for slow traffic 33.
Where are you at?
Down to 32 A and B. And then you're going to have a little slowdown again.
Yo.
19 to 18 in Meriden.
All right, it's a wrap. We'll see you mañana.
Westbound 84.
I got to finish packing stuff. Oh, no, you're off tomorrow.
84 looks good.
I'm not off this week.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying no.
Oh, no. I'm not off till my birthday.
Oh, okay. And that's coming up when?
If you're heading into
October 6th.
Oh, damn, that's soon.
Yeah.
Bound
Okay.
Glastonbury.
All right. Well, see you mañana.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye.
Waterbury's.
All right, everybody. Ugh. I feel like I have to beat up on people. It's like, do I really need to do that? It's like I've listened to Mark Levin do that, and I always feel like it's like, God, don't beat up on people. It's just not nice. But I'm at this point where I'm starting to understand that frustration, and there are people who are rabble rousers. There's that word. There are people who are just, I think it's the essence of calling up the show is just to be incendiary and just, I don't know. It feels like trolling. But whatever. It's part of the job. You have to accept it. All right, folks, don't forget, ReeseOnTheRadio.com. I'm going to go do some housework, like packing, and I actually folded all the laundry. Yeah, I should applaud myself. I did it. I folded laundry. Maybe I'll do it again next year. Y'all be good to each other. I love you. Be good.